that. But we can all now settle back and enjoy the latest chapter. It seems unlikely United will make the top 6, but Celtic still very much in the running for the title itself. This three-way battle with Heart of Midlothian and Rangers. The next chapter is here at Tannadice. It's a 12:30 kickoff. Dundee United against Celtic, live on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland with Pat Bonner, Mark Reynolds and Liam McLeod.
Martin O'Neill making his way up the touchline down below us to the scene of his first ever match in charge of Celtic, when goals from Larsson and Sutton saw them win at the start of that campaign that would end with a treble. And they come here to Tannadice, unusually for the last match day in March, sitting third in the Premiership. A win today is a must for them and would take them back to within 2 points of Hearts and back above Rangers, both those title rivals winning yesterday. Hearts with a narrow victory over Dundee at Tynecastle before Rangers brushed Aberdeen aside in the evening kick-off. Callum McGregor and Ross Graham down there, the two captains, with the referee Nick Walsh and his team, as these two do battle again, the third and likely final meeting between them this season. It's a win apiece so far. Dundee United's victory on the 17th of December was a huge one for them, their first over Celtic since 2014, as they came from a Maida goal down thanks to goals from Carestes and Sapsford in a 3-minute period, overturning that goal and piling the pressure on Wilfred Nancy to be gone just a couple of weeks later. The Celtic players away into their huddle. The United starting 11: Maynard Brewer, Iovu, Graham, Carestes, Stevenson, Agyei, Chevy, Ferry, Ferrugia, Fata and Waters. Celtic, Sinisalo in goal, Donovan, Arthur, Scales, Tierney, Nigre, McGregor, Hatate, Yang, Maida and Iheanacho, who starts for the first time for Celtic in more than 4 months. The referee's Nick Walsh, whose most recent games in the Europa League as Ferencváros played Braga. And Celtic kick off in the green and white hooks. They're going to shoot from left to right down the hill here towards the Eddie Thompson stand. Dundee United in the tangerine, and black will go towards the shed as Maida puts the pressure on down by the byline, and it's seen behind by Iovu, the big Moldovan, at the right centre back position for United, and that'll be a goal kick for Ashley Maynard Brewer. It is remarkable, 20 games against Dundee United and 20 victories. Dundee United have been woven through the Martin O'Neill story at Celtic. I mentioned his first match in charge of the club was here against them. His last one at the end of his glittering 5 years in 2005 was against them in the Scottish Cup final, as the ball was played out by Maynard Brewer to this near side, up the line from Ferry and cleared by Arthur. Now Celtic pick up quickly, Iheanacho with a flick out to Yang on the near side. Ferry pinches it back off him and swerves away from McGregor. Will Ferry driving forward, rolls it with the left to the right hand side for Stevenson, who got United second across the road at Dens last Sunday. Back to Chevy, level with the edge of the centre circle, and then to the United skipper Graham, who had a nightmare end to that match last week against their neighbours. It's with Carestes, long ball with the left foot down the left side for Ferry, shields the ball facing the touchline the near side. The challenge from Colby Donovan, and out for a Dundee United throw-in. So looks as though United have settled into this very nicely in the opening couple of minutes here.
Yeah, they have. I mean, the great performance last week for 90 minutes, it was just the extra time that killed them. But no, they'll be looking to build on that performance, and I'm sure that'll be the message from the manager to just go and replicate the performance and just make sure that they can see it to the final whistle rather than the 90th minute. They had
a long Will Ferry throw in, which we've grown accustomed to seeing in the last couple of seasons, into the box, but the whistle goes for a foul, I think, on Biami Sinisalo, and that will be a Celtic free kick inside their own box. And it is an expectant away crowd here, Pat, and in a very different mood to the last time they were here.
Yeah, and they'll play the game slightly different, that's for sure. And that, as they've started off, kind of almost getting that ball, you know, high up the pitch and trying to get a couple of balls in behind that Dundee defence, and I expect that's going to be the flow of the game.
It is Donovan on the threadbare pitch with the throw down this near side. Celtic can't make it stick, and it goes out off Iheanacho for a United throw in this time. Will Ferry stands over it midway inside his own half. And Celtic's last outing was that 3-1 win over Motherwell last Saturday. Huge victory for them against a side that was in fabulous form in recent times, and they've tailed off a bit. Motherwell just the 1 point, their last 9 available, to their draw against Hibs yesterday, as they've fallen out of the title race, which looked like it might be a 4-way battle for a while there. But it will be the 3 going head to head with just 7 games to go after this one for Celtic. Benjamin Arthur with a long ball forward in the United half. Ross Graham's to be careful. He manages to nod it back to Maynard Brewer.
Yeah, just looking. Sorry, Liam. Just looking at that ball is played over the top. It's checking up a little bit on that ground. It's not as you normally maybe with a wee bit of dampness or whatever on a grass we can maybe skid through, but it's checking up. So he had to be really careful that time, Ross Graham.
I think through the game as well, there's no consistency where the ball's going to check up or bounce through, or the defender's going to lose his footing. So absolutely crucial for both sides that the strikers follow through, because this game could be won or lost on a mistake or someone losing their footing on the grass, or lack of grass, as it were.
Here's Amar Fatah down the left-hand side, so impressive last week, but he's had it nicked off him by McGregor. Arthur's clearance has gone straight to Adjie though, who finds Chevy to his right, and then to Yovu. It's the field of the ball is unchallenged at the moment as he ends up slicing it badly wide and high into the shed. It's almost as though he thought, wait a minute, here this is opened up for me, and yeah. I've got a centre back directly to my left. Are you not resisting the shot there, or are you looking to try and play in a teammate in the penalty area?
I was panicking there for him. I think you saw that little split second where he realised I've took a heavy touch here, but actually I'm 20 yards out from goal and all I can do is shoot, and the shot very much replicated that thought process.
Long ball from Sinisalo, right down the throat of the pitch. Ross Graham wins the header. It's now Chevy forward onto the chest of Fatah, holds off Donovan, switches the play out to the right side, and Stevenson bounce forward. He's got Farrugia ahead of him and finds him. Farrugia at the right angle of the box, looking for space to cross. He's bobbled away from him, but he gets it to Chevy. Right foot cross ball comes in, headed behind for the corner by Colby Donovan for Dundee United. And it's the hosts who've started the brighter here. 0-0. We played almost bang on 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was a good ball to the back post. Donovan did well, actually, under a lot of pressure, probably to get his header away, but he has given away the corner. Will Ferry had made a good run up on the outside also, and he was getting round the back of Yang.
So United corner, out swinger from Will Ferry from the left side, and it comes a good one, and it's a great chance for Waters, and he puts it over the bar. Might have been wide as well. It's a great opportunity. He caught it first time with the right foot, just to the left of the penalty spot. You'll be furious he's not made better contact with that mark.
He will, and he's completely unmarked as well. He's got so much more time, and when you get that kind of space and time in the box, you at least need to work your goalkeeper. But good pressure from Dundee United and a good start, and they're moving the ball about well, and they're asking Celtic questions, which I think is all you can ask of them in the opening period.
And it's going to be key if they're going to get anything out of this. They've got to offer a threat, and they have done so far. United, before kick-off, they are obviously trailing Falkirk by a distance you would imagine is something they're not going to be able to make up. But if they can beat Celtic here, then it does make things a bit more interesting going into the final couple of matches before the split. As it breaks into the centre circle, it scales, it finds Yang, and out with McGregor. And with the left foot, goes out to the far side there for Tierney. Tierney in field to Callum McGregor again. And how good it is for Celtic to have him back.
Yeah, you just see him
out for longer, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought he might have been out, but you see him again on the ball, just settling the game down, just taking a few passes, getting Celtic into that sort of kind of rhythm.
Iheanacho holding it up, facing away from goal. Celtic on the attack here. He finds Nygren now. It's out with Yang. Drops the shoulder, right foot cross, way too much on it. It's poor. And it sails behind the other side of the goal frame for a goal kick to the home team. Stays nothing each.
Yeah, he was in a great position there. He was inside the box. He dropped the shoulder, went to the byline, just didn't catch it properly, but he had lots of bodies in the box. Celtic's probably best move of the game so far.
And Celtic moving the ball about well for the state of the pitch. You can see a couple of them having to take that extra touch or just getting themselves set a bit more, because there is that uncertainty when the ball comes. But some nice build-up play there, some intricate passing across the pitch from left back at Tierney out to Yang wide just inside the box on the right-hand side, and he files his cross, and he'll be disappointed not to have asked the question.
United 9 points behind Falkirk before a ball was kicked. They need to get that back to 6 today. and hope that they can go above them in goal difference as Celtic pick up with Arthur on the near side. A header forward by Donovan, they've given it away. Adjie has it, turns it back to Kereshtes, pokes back into the Celtic half, comes off the head of Nygren, breaks back at the feet of Adjie, lovely play, wins the free kick off Donovan. Nygren, he was the meat and the sandwich. Free kick United on this near side. Will Ferry wanted to take it quickly. Adjie wouldn't get out of his way quickly enough though. A little bit frustrated as the United midfielder apologises to his teammates.
Yeah, it just gives now Dundee United a chance to push the three big centre backs up on that sort of defensive line of Celtic, test them out.
Ferry over the free kick then. Left footed, split level with the edge of the centre circle. Out the left side, he's got it in towards Ross Graham. He does win the header. Breaks back onto the 18-yard line for Fatah. Yang gets in the way, and Maida, they're going to help Celtic clear their lines, and he's done that. And now it's out on this right side with Iheanacho. Maida continues his run. There's Yang, gets the touch, brought down by Stevenson. He's going in behind, knew what was coming. Gets the free kick, and Stevenson is the first booking of the match. It is Dundee United 0, Celtic 0. Celtic have a free kick in a good position, right the centre out on this near side in the final third.
Celtic do well there to break from defending the free kick. They get a couple of players that are up the pitch. It's like, I was going to say, it's a great tackle from Stevenson. He has to make it, he has to do something because they're through and goal and causing all sorts of problems. But disappointed to get booked that early in the game, but had to do something to stop Celtic on the break.
So the free kick here as the sun breaks through the skies above here on Tayside. A really fine spring afternoon in the city of Discovery. Benjamin Nygren over the free kick, left-footed coming up here. As I say, it's about 10 yards from the near side touchline. Jim Goodwin standing there with a water bottle. In comes the free kick. It's poor though, and it sails over everyone's heads and behind for the goal kick and stays goalless at Tannadice.
Yeah, it was a poor free kick. I think they've missed Ingles on since he's gone out of the team for delivery from these set pieces, whether it's corners or free kicks. Nygren was over that time. He just overhit it. Just get it into the penalty spot and let people come and attack the ball.
Well, Dundee United, similar to Rangers and Motherwell actually, draws have been the problem for them this season, and they've actually incredibly lost 22 points from winning positions this season. If they turned even just a handful of those into victories, they'd be sitting in the top 6 and not Falkirk, and perhaps pushing for Europe. That's been their biggest issue this season, hasn't it?
I think so. I think it's not just the fact that they've drawn the games. I think it's a manner in which they've drawn them. There's a lot of games where they've been leading, or they've had the 3 points right up until almost the 80th, 90th minute.
7 days ago.
Yeah, and that's been right through the season, but it's draws that will kill you. I don't think there's an issue sometimes with draws that you get a false sense of security that you're doing okay and you're building momentum, whereas the draws have been interspersed by defeats and wins. So it's not been that they think they're building a run, they just can't seem to get over the line, and it costs you in the long run because it's dropping points all over the place, and that's what is the difference between that ultimately probably the top 6 and being at the bottom 6.
It's a throw-in for United on the far side. It's level with the edge of the centre circle in the Celtic half on the right in front of the George Fox stand.
Yeah, just looking at Dundee United, the front three are playing very, very close together. You have got Faha, you've got Farrugia and Waters. They're almost within about 10-15 yards of each other across that sort of almost forward line, and that then the full-backs are the ones who's given the width.
Hatate fires it into the feet of Yang, back to the edge of his own box for Donovan, and his clearance comes back off Ferry, breaks back to Donovan, that clearance comes off Bata, breaks back to Donovan again, and at the third time of asking, he gets it clear, long high ball into the United half for the head. Is won there by Kereshtes. He breaks to Iheanacho, he's short with a layoff. Adjie is on to it, heavy touch allows Maida to win it back. McGregor for Hatate, Tierney bounding down the left hand side. Tierney's on it, level with the 18-yard line, low ball in, Ross Graham meets it, puts it behind for Celtic's first corner of the match. It is United 0, Celtic 0. We've played 12 minutes.
And it's the first time Celtic have made Dundee United defend their own box. They've had a couple of opportunities to get it in, and they've been wasteful with that delivery. That's the first time Tierney gets on the front foot, gets to the 18-yard box and fires a ball low and forces Graham into defence, and they've now got that chance to get the ball in the box, and they'll be hoping to get a Celtic here first contact.
Nygren over it, Celtic's top scorer this season, 19. Nick Walsh is sorting out something. There's a big group of players running about the penalty spot. They're all really bunched in together. The United defenders will have to be careful here.
Yeah, there's a lot of holding going on too, and I'm just looking at it. I see Ross Graham holding on to Scales. Is really interesting.
In will come the corner from Nygren. Scales tries to get onto it. He got a little flick, but it comes off the defender. Back to Nygren, hoists it back in. Arthur down to Tierney, looking for space to shoot, which he does, and he's over the bar. And it stays United 0, Celtic 0. Did really well to fashion the opportunity for himself there. To Tierney, couldn't find the target, and it remains goalless.
Yeah, he's on a rich form with goals, and he did really well. That time the ball comes to him, he touches it with his right and then gets it onto his left, but it just a little bit too high, bubbled up off the ground, and he just got under it. But hit it well, hit it with pace, and I think if it was on target, I think it'd probably be in the back of the net.
I mean, you talk about Celtic not having a striker scoring goals to them. Tierney took that down there like a seasoned striker. He just waited that half second, took that extra touch to get himself set, and as Pat said, unlucky with the strike, but done everything right other than get it on target.
Long ball then from Maynard Brewer from the goal kick, helped in its way on this left side. Ferry flicks it on, but it comes Callum McGregor's way, finds Hatate to Nygren to Hatate, does well to find Yang on the near side, flicks it in field looking for Iheanacho. Maida almost got onto it as it breaks Adjie's way. Very difficult for the players on the surface here at Tannadice. Sand down there covering huge proportion of the pitch. As Stevenson picks up wide in the right, rolls it back to Chevy into the centre circle for Graham. And a low ball to his right for Yovu. Maida all over him. Yovu gets it forward, but only as far as McGregor with the green boots on. Dances across the halfway line. He's got Nygren ahead of him. The ball forwards cut out by Yovu. It goes out for a Celtic throw-in over on the far side. 0-0 here at Tannadice. Quick throw-in. Nygren picks up left-hand side of the box in the 15th minute of the match. Nygren rolls it back to Tierney, controls and side foots the square ball to his right for McGregor, who plays it back out to Tierney. The left angle of the box against Stevenson, taking him on, level with the penalty spot. Cross is blocked, Stevenson has it and boots it clear up high into the air. Celtic beginning to exert their authority in proceedings here after a bright start by United, but it will be a free kick to the hosts over on the far side. It's United 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, just looking at my editor, he's come down quite heavy. I think he might have got a blow in the back also, and he just took him a while to get it back onto his feet, and he's going to trying to find his breath, I think.
O'Neill's Celtic side beat United 4-0 in Glasgow in his first game of his second interim spell. It was Yang, Engels, Nygren and Maida who scored the goals in that one. And that win for United here in December was their first after 23 failed attempts at success against the champions. As Yang does well under pressure from Chevy to force it out wide right. Donovan midway inside the United half, rolls it back to McGregor near the halfway line to the right of the centre circle for Hatate. Low ball forward to Nygren, finds Iheanacho, back to Hatate, then Nygren and Iheanacho out wide right for Donovan. Good build up by Celtic. Have they got a finish here? No, they don't, because the cross from Donovan's way too close to Maynard Brewer, who holds on, and it stays 0-0.
Yeah, good combination of passes from Celtic in their midfield by McGregor, Hatate, Nygren, but when the ball comes to Donovan, then it's kind of almost the good play has been let down by a bad cross.
Donovan's header straight to Adjie on this near side, sweeps it up the line with the left foot. Waters trying to control, under pressure from Donovan, finds Ferry, he chests it down to him. Ferry with the up and under. Scales and Tierney eventually deal with it. It breaks back to Waters, whose touch takes it right through to Sini Salo. Huge pressure on this game for Celtic, given the respective results of their title rivals yesterday. It's always interesting seeing the dynamic of the team that's having to follow after the Saturday results, whether it's one or two of them. Rangers reacted to Hearts winning yesterday, and Celtic have to do so today, Mark.
I think
we'll get back to you, because here's Max Waters. He's broken free, right hand side of the box, he plays it in, and Fata not quite, couldn't get there. Here's Farrugia picking up the scraps at the byline in the box, back to Ferry, and Sinisalo with fingertips to put it behind for the corner. United just flickering into life there. Two opportunities, first for Fata, and then from Ferry, and Sinisalo puts it behind for the corner. 0-0 it stays.
They just get the break of the ball just inside the halfway line there as he beats the last man, and he gets down, and for all intents and purposes it looks like he's going to that shot, but he cuts it back to his teammate who's just a yard in front of him, and then do well to recycle the ball, get it back to his supporting player, and he fires a shot and forces a save of the goalkeeper, and Dundee United want to try and build on this pressure.
Great opportunity initially for Fatah there, and he threw himself at it. He might have been putting United in front. He's taken the corner instead with the right foot, headed away by Scales. Breaks back out to Fatah on that far side, showed too much of it to Hatate. Battling, trying to win it back for Celtic. He's to put it out for a United throw-in level with the Celtic penalty spot over on that right side.
Yeah, they still got the big guys up, and Will Ferry's going to all the way across that right-hand side. He's got that long throw, so they've got to deal with this. Yeah, bit of pressure from United.
Yeah, good little spell this for the Tangerines. In from Ferry to the right angle of the 6-yard box. Graham wins the header. Yang heads away, so too does Arthur. It's only half clear. Chevy back in, but knocked away by Tierney. Maida going after it in the far side. Ferry with a challenge. It breaks to Adjie here. Long ball with the left foot forward there, looking for Fatah. Donovan heads it back to Sinisalo. Again, proving his worth to the Celtic squad, Packy, with that excellent save to deny Will Ferry.
Yeah, it was a good save. You know, it's one of them. It's high enough. It's in his area that you would expect him to save it, but he had to be nice and sharp and knocked it away to safety, which is a critical factor.
Iheanacho with his back to the United goal, forces it out to Tierney on the far side. Now Hatate. There's plenty of vibrancy about what we're seeing here as Yang finds Nygren. Now it's Iheanacho on his left foot. Couldn't quite get the shot away. Still he has it though. Still he's inside the box, right hand side of it. Rolls it out to Donovan. Then back to McGregor. It's wondered if a red hot striker with real match fitness is getting a shot away quicker than Iheanacho managed there. Hatate forward to Nygren. He tried to squeeze it through to Maida. It's cut out though. Fatah chases, so does Donovan. He slides in to win it back for Celtic, much to the frustration of Jim Goodwin down below us. Here comes Celtic again with Kieran Tierney down that left side. It's beyond the midway point of the United half. Back to McGregor, infield there to Nygren. Back to McGregor. Nygren's at the edge of the box, runs into trouble in the shape of Iovu. McGregor picks up the scraps. His ball forward blocked by Iovu again. Now it's for Tierney over on the left side. Celtic keeping the pressure on here. 0-0 it remains at Tannadice. We played almost 20. It's out to Kieran Tierney wide on the left, level with the edge of the D of the United box, in field to Maida, back to McGregor, dinks it into the penalty area, comes off Ross Graham and then off Stevenson, and it loops high into the Eddie Thompson stand off Stevenson, and Celtic have a corner on this near side in front of the Tannadice tunnel.
Yeah, I thought he should have done better there, Stevenson. He had all the time in the world to hook it away, but he always gives away a very needless corner for me.
It's a bit of sustained pressure from Celtic as well. They're doing well in the build-up. When it's controlled and measured, they're fine. It's when they just try and increase that tempo that the pitch then starts to become a problem.
Will there be any punishment? Nygren takes it in swinger. No, there won't, because it's headed away by Carestes, who scored one of those United goals when they beat Celtic here 4 months ago. Here's Nygren running down the right side, winning another corner off Amar Fatah. Nygren's going to get another opportunity. Celtic supporters all around about him in the Jerry Kerr and Fair Play stand, also occupying the shed off to the left. As Nygren takes with the left foot, and it comes again. Maynard Buer beats it away with the two hands, and it breaks to McGregor. He finds Yang on the right and back into the centre circle for Donovan. Looks up, long ball forwards, poor, aimless, and it goes behind for a goal kick to United, and it will stay Dundee United 0, Celtic 0. Packy Bonner.
Yeah, he just didn't know what to do there, Donovan. He could have really turned back and give it back to the goalkeeper, but he kind of panicked a little bit because he was getting closed down and just knocked away. But it was a nice little spell there from Celtic, just keeping the pressure on United, keeping control of the ball around that edge of the box, but no execution at the end of the day. And you know, even from the corners that they got, they just got nothing out of it. So Dundee United survive and be very happy with their start to the game.
I think a lot of the defenders very aware of the underfoot conditions and just don't want to take that little extra touch or just chance turning back to perhaps going to the goalkeeper.
Oh, which Adjie did there, and he's given it to Yang. You couldn't get it through to Maida Iovu with a really important block. Long ball forward, Fatah flicks on, Waters tries to get in behind, but Arthur gets there first and clears for Celtic. Hatate on the stretch, loses out to Chevy. Chevy comes forward, Stevenson's in a good position to his right. Chevy chips it in instead. The header is down from Waters, pretty weak, and it's comfortable for Sinisalo. Could not generate the power he needed to even trouble Sinisalo, let alone score. and it stays 0-0. There's a long ball over the top. Iovu again, it's an important little flick just to take it out for the throw-in, because it looked like it was just going to drop over his head and into the path of Dyson Maeda.
Yeah, that was a difficult header from from Waters there. He was sort of almost crouching down to get the header on, and it was well out. I think it was about probably 16 yards out from goal to generate the power, and it would have been very, very difficult.
Callum McGregor for Celtic over on the left touchline. He finds Tierney, and now flicks it with the outside of the boot there to Maeda, back to Hatate. Now it's with McGregor looking for Hatate. There's a misunderstanding, and Adjie's onto it for United, picking it up under pressure from Donovan. Donovan out of position here. It's Adjie over on the right, knocks it forward to Farrugia, straight to Scales, though he puts it out for a United throw-in on the far side. They just couldn't get the support into the right positions to profit from that error from Celtic.
No, you're right, and I think that the pitch is playing a huge part in the game, and I don't want to keep talking about it, but it is the massive factor today. And even just that, any time any team has tried to inject any tempo, any pace into the game, the pitch is the thing that's stopping them doing it. I think you see it from Celtic there. They're fine in the build-up, they're fine when they're getting to control the tempo, but when they need to inject that bit of pace to try and force an error, the ball bobbles up, but the ball runs away, and it ends up forcing the error.
It's with Maynard Brewer, long ball forward, looking for Waters, who hasn't scored since the 3-2 defeat at Easter Road. Farrugia's onto it, driving into the box, but the touch takes it right through to Sinisalo. Dundee United 0, Celtic 0, here on Sportsound and BBC Radio Scotland this Sunday afternoon, on digital, online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. International break coming up for the Premiership, of course, the lower leagues. Some huge games in midweek, including that Partick Thistle visit to Raith Rovers on Tuesday, and next Saturday there's much a full fixture card, a couple of games in the Friday night because of the Scotland match as they take on Japan in that friendly 5 o'clock kick-off on Saturday, live here on Sportsound, live on BBC television, as Maeda comes down the left, plays it off Iovu, and behind for another Celtic corner, this time over on that far side.
Iovu has made a couple of good interceptions. There was one just about a minute ago that he really had to intercept, and it was a really good one. And there again, he's matched up with Maeda. Give away the corner though. Just looking at the way that Dundee United are defending the corners, they've got 4 players picking up 4, almost right on the penalty spot, man for man, which is not easy to do actually, because somebody will get free, like Scales getting across that near post.
Yeah, in comes the corner. It's come all the way through to Hatate, the 18-yard line, right to the D, but Adjie gets his chest onto it. It's away by Iovu, only as far as McGregor. And McGregor into the centre circle for Donovan. Now Hatate back to Colby Donovan, right of the centre circle to the left of it for McGregor. Celtic of United still hemmed in here. McGregor out to Maeda on the far side. We've played 25 goalless minutes at Tannadice. It's infield to Hatate, forward to Nygren, runs into Iovu, who's had a good game so far, but his clearance goes straight to Hatate on the far side. Back, low ball short there to McGregor, and then out to Tierney over on the left side, level with the 18-yard line. Tierney then back to Hatate. Hatate to Donovan. A little bit slow in the build-up, Celtic here. Too slow for their supporters' liking. A couple of groans when the ball comes back, but Tierney digs out across. Way too close to Maynard Brewer though, and it stays United 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, so I'll try and be patient around the edge of the box, and just taking that extra pass. Maybe sometimes that could be down to the pitch also, and then when the ball does come in again, nobody getting across the goalkeeper.
I think it compounds that patient build-up when you don't get a shot on target or make something happen, because the fans, as you can hear, start getting frustrated. And it's fine building up and waiting on Dundee United to come and bite or to find an opening, but if you don't get that chance, if you don't cause problems, then the crowd start to get on your back, and it just compounds the problem.
McGregor picks up and finds Arthur into the centre circle for Scales. Surveys the pitch ahead of him. Maeda makes his run to the left. Scales decides against that though. And it's a short ball there to McGregor and out to Yang on the near side. First time with the right foot back into his own half for Arthur. It's going to have to be the patient game for Celtic by the looks of this, Pat.
Yeah, but you've got to take risk also, and Scales did get a ball there, and there was a bit of space, and both Yang and Maeda tried to make runs in behind, but the pass never came.
Hatate forward to Nygren, a little bit of space but closed down. Crestes gets rid of it at the edge of his own box. Farrugia was fouled. Free kick to United, just about midway inside their own half. 0-0, Mark Reynolds. How are you making of this game of football right now?
It's a pretty even game. I think there's not been too many chances. Perhaps Dundee United has been the best chance of the game and forcing the save from the Celtic goalkeeper, but I think it's an interesting one because Celtic, both teams need to win. Celtic more so because they're trying to stay in that title race and they're trying to reapply the pressure, so you can sense it from the Celtic fans. They're getting frustrated. They want them to be testing the goalkeeper, they want them to be causing problems and asking questions of Dundee United, which they're not doing. So no, I think the longer Dundee United can frustrate Celtic, the more chances they'll get, because Celtic will need to start forcing it, they'll need to start making things happening, and that's when Dundee United can hopefully counter and get something on the break.
Out of Adji for a throw into Celtic on the near side. Liam Scales there in the Republic of Ireland squad for their World Cup playoff match against the Czech Republic. Packy, looking forward to that. We've got our feet up for these friendly matches. You've got all the stress.
You're in a very lucky position. That's high pressure away to Czech Republic, which is never going to be easy. Physical game, so let's hope.
That's on Thursday night in the Czech Republic, and the winner of that will play Denmark or North Macedonia in the final. The losers will play the losers of that in a friendly. How depressing would that be? Here they are, United in possession with Farrugia on the right. Back it comes to Stevenson, who clears it with the right foot into the centre circle where Arthur's onto it, and it's Callum McGregor picking up. He shifts it out to the left side for Tierney. Ball bobbling a lot on the sand out there, the Tannadice beach down there.
Celtic trying to play through the middle at times also.
McGregor clipping it forward into the box. Stevenson gets there first. Iheanacho with the foul on Stevenson. Free kick Dundee United, right hand side of their own box. United 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, I was going to say they're trying to play through little passes, little triangular passes between three players and trying to get in between the lines, but as soon as they get under control, they're closed down very quickly, and on this pitch it's really difficult to get it down and get into a position where you can maybe have a strike.
And that just playing out the frustrations of the Celtic fans, so you can hear it getting louder and louder.
Can understand that. Stakes are so high right now, and any points dropped could be so costly. Any points they've already dropped could be so costly. Celtic have shipped points to 12 league games this season, which is very unusual for them. They're normally well clear by this point, and we've all got used to seeing that recently. As Maynard Brewer clears with the left foot from the edge of his box. Up high into the air it goes. Adji flicks on. He's bouncing off McGregor's chest, but Fatah's onto it. Little turn, ball in field, straight to Hatate. His pass through, Maida chases, but Iovu's favourite to get onto it wide on the far side. He's going to let it trickle out for a Dundee United throw-in. 0-0 at Tannadice.
Dundee United are doing well to win that first ball up, the long ball from the goalkeeper or one of the defenders. They're doing well to win the initial contact. It's the second and third ball that they're losing out on, and Celtic are picking up all the scraps, and I think the longer that happens, the harder a game it becomes for Dundee to get a foothold in it. And Celtic doing the opposite, managed to get the ball up and managed to keep it in Dundee United's final third and move it about, and yeah, not getting that final pass, but the longer they're there, the more chances they have of something opening up.
Benjamin Arthur on the ball, midway inside his own half here, centre point. We're beyond the half hour, 0-0. Long ball, Yang looks at it. They're claiming it's come off the hand of Carestes, the edge of his box. The ref's not interested. And then they've given it away, Celtic in the midfield. As Chevy, it's bobbled and bounced. He wasn't able to do what he wanted to do initially, but he's found Fatah on the left side. And he has had it nicked off him by Maida, and then it's with McGregor who finds Hatate. Hatate pushes it forward to Nygren, fouled by Iovu right in front of Nick Walsh. Free kick goes Celtic's way in the centre circle, just inside their own half.
Yeah, it's very scrappy though, isn't it? You know, it's not a fluid game from either team, to be honest. And when you do pick up the ball and there's a little bit of space to try to run forward with it, and it's just bobbling all over the place, and they can't really get it down to execute that final pass.
I think we just need to try and find that 50% of the pitch that's covered in grass that Richard was talking about earlier.
There's that cross into the United box again. It's Tierney, and again it's a poor ball in, and Maynard Brewer gathers comfortably at the right angle of his 6-yard box and takes it for a walk up to his 18-yard line. Now he's going to launch it forward with the left foot out to this near side. Asking a lot of Will Ferry here, but he's managed to nod it in field straight to Donovan, who heads it into the United half. Carestes picks up and plays it short to Adji. Shuffles away from Nygren, clips it forward looking for Water. Straight to Arthur though. He's found Hatate outside of the boot, ball back to Scales, who in turn goes back to his goalkeeper. It's probably the Celtic box in this first half, probably the area which has got the most grass in it on the entire playing surface.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the balls up to Iheanacho too. They're high in the air, and Ross Graham has him under scrutiny. Has won every single ball I think that's come up so far.
I think if you're going to play that long ball up with Ross Graham as your centre back, it can't be high for an aerial challenge. It has to be dropped in front. You have to be drawing fouls. You have to be at chest height at most, so that you're getting to link it up, which they've done well when it happens, but it's not happened often enough. But as you say, Pat, any time that's gone up for that ball high in the air, Ross Graham's going to win it 9 times out of 10.
It's here with Fatah. He's wriggled away and got it through to Farrugia, who chases. Scales brings him down at the edge of the box. The free kick's been given, and the yellow card for Scales spared red by Kieran Tierney. It's a free kick. United at the edge of the day, goalless at Tannadice. Farrugia got goal side of Scales. He was all over the place after that.
Yeah, it was a free kick because he took a touch, Liam, and he lost control of the ball, and he then leant in to Farrugia and give away a free kick in a very dangerous position, I've got to say, about 5 yards outside the 18-yard box.
That's a great chance, this, isn't it? Right decision, Mark?
So I was actually doing the commentary with Richard up at the Motherwell Aberdeen game, the Cup, and I think that the speed distance time triangle out up there to work out if the covering defender was getting across. So I don't know if it's the same guys or if we've got the same maths up there, but
yeah, that was Liam Gordon and Toyosi Olasanya, wasn't it? And Gordon was sent off, even though the incident took place in the centre circle. Anyway, yellow stands, and to be fair, Kieran Tierney was in a position where he could have retrieved it.
Yeah, it's the first time that Dundee United have managed to get the ball under control and managed to beat a man, and then compound that with getting the ball to the striker, and it's a great through ball, and they use the ball on the pitch that the defender can't quite get his feet, he can't quite make the tackle. And
what a position it is as well, Mark. Here it's Fatah to the left, Ferry with the right, dead centre. It's about 21 yards from goal. An opportunity knocks for United. It's Fatah who takes, it's low, it's into the wall, it's poor, it's a letdown for United as Iyovu blasts for goal from distance, but it flicks off McGregor high over the bar into the shed for a Dundee United corner. 0-0 at Tannadice it remains.
Poor free kick, wasn't it? He never made any contact. I'm waiting for Will Ferry maybe to swing that around the wall a little bit, because he's got the quality.
Yeah, you need to force the keeper into doing something there. It's a great opportunity in a game of very little quality. Pat touched there, it's been very scrappy, and it's going to be a set piece or a mistake or something like that, and when you have a golden chance like that, you need to walk the goalkeeper and at least force him into a save.
So United corner, Will Ferry over it, in swinger with the left foot. It's poor though, but he does get another chance because it comes off the Tate. That came in low towards the near post. It's another chance. It's 11 games Celtic have dropped points in the league this season. It was a live table I was looking at there, which obviously takes into account the fact they are being held here by United, but still 11 games that they haven't won in the league in 30 is pretty incredible for Celtic. Ferry's corner better, but it's headed away by his countryman Scales, and out for a throw-in on the far side to the home team, and it stays goalless at Tannadice.
Yeah, very different setup defensively from Celtic than what Dundee United do. All very zonal marking, allowing the big guys to get a run on you.
Both managers down there in their technical areas. It comes into the box, Graham heads on, Arthur half away, Graham keeps it alive, he's managed to find Waters with his back to goal, back towards Farrugia, but he's had it nicked off him. Yang trying to get there, it's Stevenson just boots it into the stand down below us, under pressure from Yang, who would have been in behind otherwise. Quick throw in Donovan, Nygren goes after it, Fatah gets back between the man and the ball and wins it back for United. It's been a decent performance from United here. They're giving Celtic plenty to think about.
They are, and it's Celtic's most promising attacks have come from Dundee United. They've put the ball in the box from either a long throw or a set piece, and Celtic have broke at pace up the pitch.
Here they are again. Here's a Iheanacho shoots, and Maynard Brewer saves. Well, that's a brilliant move by Celtic, and as they flashed into life there down the left, Tierney Iheanacho found himself in the box, left-hand side, shot at goal, and Maynard Brewer blocks. Best chance for Celtic, certainly in this first half. I would imagine they did have that one earlier on. But Iheanacho found himself in a terrific position in the box, Pat.
Yeah, first time he's ran down the side of the centre half, normally comes to the ball, here's a chance.
Yeah, he's had a goal from distance, he's won the corners, it's deflected, looping high and wide, corner Celtic, 0-0 at Tannadice. I'm talking about the other opportunity Celtic had was Kieran Tierney in the box when he shot over the bar. That's another excellent opportunity there for the visitors.
Yeah, that was good movement though from Iheanacho. You know, instead of coming, he almost glides down the side of the centre half, and the ball's played into his path, and he takes it on first time. Keeper did well, coming out, narrowing the space and the angle.
Negrin takes the corner, it's a good one. Arthur helps it towards goal. Nobody in green and white able to get onto it though, and it's bundled away by Iovu down this near side. Ferry going after it, Ferry's onto it, couldn't quite keep it in play, did he? The flag's up, no, it's a Celtic throw-in down on this near side, which Donovan takes level with the edge of the centre circle. Now it's Yang, gets away from one, couldn't get away from the second. It was Karestes who blasts it off Donovan, and out for a United throw-in on this near side. It's goalless, plenty going on out there. It's a real battle here on the sandy surface. 38 minutes just about played, 0-0.
Yeah, it is a battle, isn't it? You know, and nothing's given from either team.
The game just burst into life after Dundee United launched that ball into the box, and Celtic have broke, and in the last 3 or 4 minutes have just been on the front foot. They've brought that energy, intensity that the fans want, and they've managed to flip the narrative here because the fans behind them, this is what we want to see. There might not be quality, but high tempo, high intensity, ask questions, and the fan will cheer you on.
Here goes Christian Karestes driving across the halfway line after beating Iheanacho to it. He lost it though, and Donovan gets it back for Celtic, fires it from right to left for Tierney, who rolls it back to his keeper. Sinisalo with the one real save I know in the match up until that effort from Iheanacho. Drew one from Maynard Brewer up the other end. United win it back, Ferry's got it from Pata, he's in the box, low ball across, clear by Scales. Chevy keeping it alive, his header towards Ferry, he was in an offside position. Arthur mops up and finds Yang on the near side. Looked like that opened up beautifully for Will Ferry. Celtic come forward, Hatate gets it from Iheanacho's flick, now it's Negrin, Maida was to his left, he can't find them, and yes, once again it's Yuri Iovu who manages to make the block. He's made a couple of really important defensive interventions in the game. Celtic again, Yang on the right, cross comes in right through Adjie and out to the far side. Tierney will try and recycle it, plays it infield to McGregor. Short ball, Negrin to Hatate, and then Negrin to Maida, looking for Hatate, blocked by Chevy, and United clear. It's having an excellent game, Iovu at the back for United. Got to be careful with that, because I was praising Ross Graham to the hilt last week for his performance in the derby, and in an absolute nightmare in stoppage time.
The old commentator's curse, but no, you're right, he stepped into everything, and he's just read the game beautifully to step in and break Celtic down just as they start causing problems around the D of the box. Yeah,
just that move though from Celtic was a really, really good move, but Negrin again, that final pass just let him down when he's in a great position to slide the ball into the path of Maeda.
Heading towards the final 5 minutes of the first half, Celtic looking to do what they've done so often and score late in a half of football. It's Maida on the left, taking on Stevenson, across it comes Maynard, Brewer gets down low, gets a fist to it, and United get it clear. 0-0 is a really good fizzed ball in from the left by Maida. Scales it, picks it up on the halfway line into the centre circle for Arthur, who finds McGregor, and then back to Liam Scales. Left-footed ball low out to Maida on the far side. Infield it comes to McGregor, back out to Tierney, level with the 18-yard line of the United box. They're going to twist and turn away from Farrugia. It's a delicate chip ball in, it's only half away. Breaks to Hatate, shuffles onto his left, shoots, blocked. The Celtic fans think by a hand as United clear, and out it goes for a throw into Celtic on the far side, but they're going to have to delay the game here just to check to see if there was a handball, but it looks as though that check's been completed very quickly. No handball, and to be fair, if that's given as a penalty, it would have been extremely harsh given the rate of knots the ball was coming at him at. I think it was Ross Graham again, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I don't know where Ross is expected to put his hands if that's given for a penalty. He can't get them any closer to his side, he's got his hands behind his back, so the fact we even look at it is a bit of a mystery. But
Mark, I'm going to ask you a question here. You were, and you probably still are, a defensive player, man. To defend that way with your hands here back, wow, that must be a real difficult thing to do.
Yeah, I've never understood these rules. They talk about it being a natural position. If you're jumping or if you're running or lunging, a natural position is not to have your hands behind your back. It's out at the side to help you propel yourself forward or propel yourself to the side. So it's a strange rule. They seem to have created more problems than they've solved with it, but it at least gives a bit of consistency where the refs can say if your hands aren't in this position then they're unnatural, which again the use of that language is very loose. But here come United.
Yeah, Mark timed his top flight clear very well in the VAR respect. Here's Farrugia, it's a lovely run up the edge of the box, and then he doesn't have the final touch as he tried to set up Waters. Celtic clear, Chevy, now it's Adji, goes from distance and fires it high into the shed as he slices it badly with the left foot, and it stays Dundee United 0, Celtic 0 on 42 minutes at Tannadice.
The worst part here is that's Dundee United's best shot from distance, and it was wildly over, but they've put two over the stand, and I think they've knocked out somebody in the back row of that Celtic stand as well. So I don't know what they've been working on, but it's the right idea. I think they're not going to penetrate with those little passes, so they need to get shooting from distance, but if they're going to do that, they need to at least walk the goalkeeper.
Pretty even game, would you say?
I think it has been. I think there's been back and forth. We've touched on it many times. The pitch is the great leveller. It's hard to get on, but no, there've been chances for both games, and both teams probably feeling that they're doing enough. I think psychologically here for Celtic, it's a one where the longer it goes, then the worse it is for them. So United will go on to it. I think Celtic got more frustrated, and the longer the game goes, the better for United.
Yeah, it's not been many great games of football played on that kind of surface, certainly here this season. We're watching that Dundee United Aberdeen game here the end of last month, and we get the game stopped. It was that bad. Sinisalo clears, looking for Iheanacho. Underneath it's Ross Graham, wins the header into the Celtic half. It drops, Tierney's onto it, he fires it forward, looking for Iheanacho again. Header won by Kerestes, and out for a throw into Celtic over on the left side, level with the edge of the centre circle.
That's the ball that Pat was talking about earlier. That long high ball up is Iheanacho. It's a great option, but not at that height, because Graham's going to gobble up all day as he had. And then I think the second part of that is if you're going to do that and accept that he's going to lose the header, you need to have your midfield up on it, picking up the scraps to then go and attack from there.
Yeah, and I think probably the pitch also doesn't allow you to clip that ball. You know, you've got to try to make good contact with it, and it almost goes high rather than anything else. Here it goes again.
Sinisalo, it's a high ball out towards Maida. It does win the header, and Iheanacho battling with Graham, loses out. Graham gets his head to it with Stevenson wide in the right, long ball with the right foot down the far side. Scales has his head under it, nods it in forward for McGregor, and then out to Tierney, who smashes it forward, but it's all the way through to Maynard Brewer once again. It's Dundee United 0, Celtic 0, and we are in the 45th minute here. I imagine there'd be much in the way of stoppages. There was an injury earlier on, which was dealt with in the space of a minute or so. There might be a little bit added on, albeit the fourth official doesn't have the board in his hand, and we are getting to that point now. It is Celtic on the ball with Scales in the centre circle, and out to Tierney over on the far side. Sweeps it back to Arthur, right of the circle, and coming up towards the halfway line. Then back to Scales. Right, pedestrian from Celtic right now. Their fans are getting annoyed again. Here's Arthur.
But you know, they're annoyed because Celtic haven't scored a goal, they haven't made a target, but sometimes you've got to take your time and patience just to pick the right pass.
That's it, no stoppage time at the end of the first half, so it is goalless at Tannadice. And that's exactly what Hearts and Rangers were hoping, that Celtic wouldn't have been able to make the breakthrough. Well, they haven't, and they threatened fleetingly. Kieran Tierney blasting over Iheanacho with a shot towards the end of the half, which was saved by Maynard Brewer. United have threatened as well. Max Waters shooting over, Will Ferry seeing a shot saved by Viljami Sinisalo. So it's been a pretty even game up to press on what's a terrible playing surface, quite clearly. But as it stands, Celtic would be 4 points in arrears at the top of the table from Hearts, and they would be unable with a point to go back above Rangers, who they would trail by 1 if this ends in a draw, which it is at the break in the Tannadice sunshine. Dundee United 0, Celtic 0.
The Scottish Premiership.
Live on Sports Sound.
Scottish football lives here.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Sports Sound. Live Scottish football lives here.
Glorious! Glorious!
Here's Scotland take on Japan.
We are returning to the World Cup!
Saturday afternoon from 2 on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
Yeah, the break next weekend for the top flight, for the international action, of course, the double bill of friendly matches for Steve Clarke and Scotland. Full coverage with us here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We're on this afternoon until 3 o'clock, then it'll be Stuart and Tam with Off the Ball, taking you through until 5. Sports Scene highlights tonight, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. And look out tomorrow night for the SWPL highlights. That's 7:30 on the BBC Scotland channel. They'll have all the best of the action from today's games. Still to come in the bottom half of the table following the split. Hamilton against Aberdeen, Motherwell against Montrose. Couple of games already underway in the top 6. 17 minutes in, it's Hearts 0, Hibernian 0. And it's Partick Thistle 1, Celtic 1. Celtic going in front in that one, but being pegged back pretty quickly. 4:10. Big one there, Rangers against Glasgow City, live on BBC Alapa. As things stand in terms of the live table, Glasgow City 3 points clear of Hearts on 50 points to 47, Celtic on 44, Rangers on 42. It could yet be a very tight, very challenging conclusion to the campaign. Also tomorrow, look out online for the SPFL. Round up all the best of the action from across the Championship Leagues 1 and 2. And of course, Monday to Friday, the Scottish Football Podcast is published. Pick that up and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. The one remaining game of this weekend sits at half-time at Dundee United 0, Celtic 0. We'll get to the game itself and what's been happening within it, Pat Bonner, but I think you guys have mentioned it regularly during commentary. There's no way of not mentioning it. This pitch has had a major bearing, hasn't it, on this encounter? Yeah, very much so, and it's not a pretty game in many ways. It's not a fluid game. It doesn't flow in the way that you would expect, and it's down to the pitch. It's down to the, somebody gets the ball, there's a bit of space, they try to run with the ball bobbles up, and eventually somebody gets back and they're able to get a tackle in and put them off their stride, and then the game sort of breaks down again. So this game is going to be determined, I think, by a mistake or a set piece or something of that nature, and it's going to be a very, very difficult one for Celtic to win comfortably. I think one goal might do it for them, and saying that, Dundee United could end up scoring the goal, and that makes it really, really difficult. So, and there's not a lot between the teams. No. As Mark says, it's just going to be your luck on the day who gets that goal. I think clearly both managers, Mark, have made it well, first and foremost, the players' safety first, isn't it? We haven't seen the situations, the scenarios that have become so familiar in the game these days of players passing back and forth across their 6-yard box. You're right. I think there was a couple of times where Celtic did try it, and it just, as Dundee United get on the front foot and press, that heavy touch or just that uncertainty of your underfoot condition, they were losing the ball, and one of Dundee United's chance come from the first time Celtic get the goalkeeper. It goes to the centre half, out to the full back, and they pass it, and I think it was that Ferry that got the shot away. But the pitch dictates the game. I think, as Pat said there, it's going to come from a mistake, and it's going to come from a set piece, and I think on the mistake, that's the only thing. Well, you can't control a mistake, but you can control the amount of times you give the opportunity to a mistake to happen. So both sets of defenders you've seen the whole game are getting rid of the ball. They're going a lot longer, they're not taking that extra touch, and for me the set piece one's the biggest, because I think, again, Pat touched on it, set pieces probably where the game's going to be won. The delivery's been very poor. Very few times that the opposing team has actually, or the attacking team has been the first contact in the box. It's the defenders that are always getting there, and I think other than the two long throws from Dundee United, where Graham gets his head on it at first every time, there's no real kind of impetus from the attackers to get there and score that goal. Yeah, and that's one thing we can't blame the pitch for, Pat. There's no reason why the players shouldn't be able to make those crosses. Yeah, well, that's it, but sometimes when it's bare like that, you can't get your foot wrapped around it properly. I'm looking at the goalkeeper also when he's playing that ball, particularly Sinisalo, even Maynard Brewer's almost knocking it out into the wide area, and it's not an acrid, can almost pass. They're not used to it. That's the problem. They're definitely not used to that type of surface that they can actually get their foot and clip the ball forward. I think what I've noticed, and it's more evident with Ashley Maynard Brewer because we're at his end of the pitch, but he is being so precise, and you see him, he's watching the ball and just making sure he gets clean contact. It's almost prioritising that rather than where he's actually going to put it.
It's like a golf shot out of a bunker, isn't it, Richard? One of your shots. You've got to be really concentrated on the ball, and you can't have any sort of movement when you're going to strike the ball, and you hope to get good contact. You're hoping rather than making that happen, and that's what's happening. So you're not just playing up front for Celtic. Goalkeeper gives the ball, and the ball's played up almost up 20-30 yards in the air. By the time it reaches him, Ross Graham's coming through and winning absolutely every single, and that suits the big centre half. Absolutely suits. Doesn't suit Iheanacho, and that's the conditions. Celtic have trying to play little balls in round the edge of the box and playing 1-2s and little triangular passes, but it's not really coming off for them. They've never got into a position where they've been able to get the ball and strike it, have a strike on goal, and then when it does go wide, as you say, they're not able to get good cross. A bit better from the left hand side, definitely nothing down from this right hand side.
No, Colby Donovan clearly just does not look confident, does he, in terms of his deliveries from the ball. He's given it away a few times. It's not helped from a Celtic point of view, I guess, Mark, the fact that as soon as they get possession, you can quite clearly see United are dropping into a 5. You've got Stevenson on the right, you've got Ferry on the left, you've got 4 in a bank ahead of them as well. So it does cut down on the opportunity to make those passes.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, Richard. So when you train, and Celtic will do it, Dundee United do it, Pat will remember doing it, you do waves of attack, and you'll overload your defence. You'll put in your back 3 or your back 5 and a couple, and you'll hit them with 8, 9, 10 players, and very few goals are scored. Teams are set up to do this. This is defending that you enjoy, that everybody's in their position, everybody's shuffling, everybody knows their job. You keep your shape and you only go if you can affect the ball, and Dundee United have done that very well. Dundee United have struggled, or not struggled, but Celtic's chances have come from the 3 shots or 3 opportunities for Dundee United to get into Celtic's box. Celtic have broke, and it's those 3 opportunities are where Celtic have made most efforts on goal and the most chances, and not only that, but they fed off that energy. So they break from the last one was a long throw come in, they break down our right hand side, down Celtic's right hand side, they get the ball in the box, they get a shot away, they recycle it, they get another shot, and the crowd starts getting into it, and that's the difference between it. It's almost, and you don't want to do this as if you're Celtic, is you're almost inviting Dundee United to attack and to take that shot, because it's the only way you can open them up, and that's when Celtic can then get out, because on a pitch like this, the only skill that is effectively winning here is speed. When you get somebody one-on-one and you can go past them, that's all you can do. When you need to check, when you need to turn, when you're trying to play a little delicate pass, the pitch doesn't allow it, and that's when you start losing the ball. So I think for Celtic, they're happy when Dundee United come up the pitch, because they can then go and attack, and they can get their shots on target, and it's not a delicate pass, as Pat said. There's an opening, and you get players running on it with that pace and power that Celtic have got right through the team.
Yeah, that's where that chance for Iheanacho came from.
Absolutely. It was a lovely first time pass with Hatate, and he took it first time. And
he's ran down the side of the centre half, and then able to get a shot away. He didn't really think too much about it, he just wanted to get on target, but the goalkeeper did really well out, spread himself, cut down the space, and got the block in. But that was probably Celtic's best chance of the game. The other one that Tierney had, sort of he did well to actually manufacture the chance himself. Now if he hit it on target, I think it was in the back of the net, just got under it, and Ferry then had the other shot. So that's been all this really
you're right.
happened.
I mean, there just simply hasn't been an abundance of chances. The ones that have come along have been decent enough, but they've been so few and far between. I guess from United's point of view, it was Waters with a pass and in the middle. Pata was it, who just simply couldn't get a touch in it, and then ultimately the very shot that Sinisalo made the decent save from. The only other one, Mark, was very early on, and I guess that might have set the scene. It was the Ferry corner from the left, and Waters had a good chance, but he steered it wide of the post, and that's really been it in terms of any notes you're making in that sense.
Yeah, no, few and far between, as you say, but it's just the way the game's going. It's just the kind of the rhythm of the game, that it's not going to be a game that there's much quality in, but I think you need to just be able to find that isolated moment of ball, and as you touched on there, the corner at the start, that's where you need your players on it, and you get the ball, it's off the ground, so you can't complain about the pitch bobbling. It's shin height, and it's just, he gets more time, but you need to expect that you're going to get that, because it comes as a surprise. I think even the shot that the centre-back has from about 20-25 yards out, there's an element of surprise there, that he doesn't quite believe he's in that position, and he's not been shut down, and I think it's just having that belief that you will get chances, and you need to be ready to take them and capitalise on them when they come.
Right, just a few minutes left of the interval. Of course, United, Mark, will be shooting down the slope in this second half. Does that make a significant difference at all for you here?
It did when I played. I loved it. I mean, when you're down pitch side, you can see the slope. When you're playing on it, it feels massive, and it's great to be able to play into that. And the only thing I will say is, and I noticed it just towards the end of the second half, Tierney did. There's a great thing you can do on this pitch is if you're playing at left back or left centre back, you can float a ball diagonally across the pitch into that far right corner, and you get the benefit of the slope. Tierney tried to fire one, and as Pat touched on earlier, just the underground, he couldn't get his feet, he couldn't generate the power through because of the sand. So it couldn't carry as far, so it kind of takes that dimension out of the game. But no, absolutely, going down the hill, you almost feel as if the home fans are trying to suck the ball into the goal, and they'll want every advantage they can get.
You learn something every day, Richard, don't you? You know, what's that?
Absolutely.
He's given us a trick here for this pitch in Tannadice. I never even knew. There you are. Brilliant, Mark.
I remember someone at one point trying to convince me that they'd taken away the slope here. I mean, it's quite evident that they haven't. I mean, you can just see the stand, how high the wall is at one end, and it's like twice the height at the other end, and that clearly...
Mark, I used to hate coming up here and playing, especially on a pitch like this, when there was crosses coming from that far side and in top you were almost another foot. You had to get a foot higher to get a ball off the back post, and of course those days goalkeepers came for crosses, Mark.
No, absolutely. I think you're right. And for me, even when you're taking the corners from the left-hand side, the right-hand side, especially down at the tunnel side of the pitch, there is a massive difference. And you're talking about kind of centimetres and inches making a difference. You look at the wall at the far end, there is no wall, and then you come down here and there's kind of a 5-foot wall. So I think whoever said the slope was gone was maybe tilting their head slightly, Richard.
I think they might have been. Both managers will ultimately be looking to the bench. Are you scanning those potential substitutes and thinking there might be any movement at the interval, boys, or are they going to wait just a wee while?
Sapsford, has he not been in the team, or has he been injured?
He's been in and out.
Yeah. Because I thought he was a really good player anytime I've seen him live. Of course, watching on TV is a wee bit different, but when you watch him live, I thought he was always good. So he looks like a player that could maybe come on and do something for Dundee United.
I think I would agree with that for Saps. I think just on that, speaking to a few guys who I know from my time down here and a few supporters, they have said he started great, on great form, but he has been off the boil and kind of in and out and just not the guy. And I think maybe why Dundee United have struggled as much as they have recently, he was their kind of talisman. He was a guy that everything was going through, was getting the goals, and when that kind of falls away, then you do struggle. And he's been in and out, but certainly somebody that can come on and on his day can cause problems and be a match winner. Yeah,
I think from Celtic's perspective, they have Forrest, they have Tunekti. Those kind of players are kind of players that could impact, players that could turn the game. This pitch, I'm just looking at the pitch also, I think you're right, Richard, I think there's a little bit more grass in the goal that Celtic will be shooting into now, up in that sort of kind of almost around the edge 18-yard box and so on, so that might suit the likes of a Tunekti or so on to come on and try and create maybe something in that area, and that. But I don't know if they'll make changes right away. I think they'll wait a little bit, both teams, because of the way the game's panned out at the moment.
Well, Celtic players just beginning to make their way out. No change in those score lines in the SWPL. Half an hour gone virtually. It's Hearts 0, Hibernian 0, Partick Thistle 1, Celtic 1. And just a little reminder that Off the Ball is coming up at 3 o'clock. It's Stuart Cosgrove and Susie McCabe who will be in charge then. So Off the Ball between 3 and 5 here on BBC Radio Scotland. And the sports scene highlights tonight, 7:15. on the BBC Scotland channel. The Celtic players, I think, all back out. The referee just holding off. His assistants have emerged, and Dundee United are just about to do so, led by their captain Ross Graham. It is goalless here at Tannadice between Dundee United and Celtic. A huge 45 minutes ahead, and it's going to be live here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Your commentary team is Pat Bonner, Mark Reynolds and Liam McLeod.
Thank you, Richard. Dundee United unbeaten in the last 4 games at Tannadice. Beat Spartans in St Mirren, drawing with Kilmarnock and Aberdeen since losing to Hearts at the end of January. And they've only kept 2 clean sheets in the last 17 matches, and overall they've only won 5 of their last 16. 2 of those against lower league sides in the Scottish Cup. So their form in the league is a little bit beige right now, but if they can land back-to-back wins over Celtic and keep that top 6 dream alive, and when I say back-to-back wins, I mean here at Tannadice, Celtic have lost 2 of the last 17. They came back-to-back against Stuttgart and Hibernian. They're on their lowest points tally after 30 games since 2010 under Tony Mowbray, as Dundee United shooting down the hill kick-off in the tangerine and black. Celtic right to left as we watch from a terrific vantage point here at Tannadice. They will shoot towards the shed, which is jam-packed with Celtic supporters. No changes, no subs for the start of the second half, as Sinisalo as a bobbling ball played back to by Arthur, and he slices it out for a throw into United on the far side, level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box. Maynard Brewer in goal for them. Iovu, Graham, Canestes, Stevenson, Aji, Chevy and Ferry, Ferrugia, Fata, Waters. Celtic with Sinisalo in goal, Donovan, Arthur, Scales, Tierney, Nigri, McGregor, Hatate, Yang, Maida, Iheanacho. In comes Ferry's throw-in, it's only half away. Ferrugia can't get onto it, Iheanacho does, and he's found Yang on the right, but he's lost it, runs into Ferry. Waters flicks the header to the back end of the box, but it's going to skip behind for the goal kick to Celtic, who get away with one there. Another sloppy ball, sloppy touch in a really bad area as well.
Yeah, he made the wrong decision. You know, you just got to clear your lines. I know he's got no target up front because everybody was back for the corner, but you've got to just almost clear your lines and then get up after it. Don't take a touch and try to beat somebody on the edge of your box.
Yang taking it down at the edge of the centre circle, looking for Maida, blocked by Iovu. Stevenson goes after it, comes off Tierney's head and out for a United throw-in. Interesting near side.
Interesting for me there, just at the as the teams come out from the tunnel. Ross Doohan, the Celtic sub-goalkeeper, moved the ball from the side of the goals right up next to it, so Celtic obviously keen to try and keep that ball in play and keep the tempo high. The ball boy did go and move it back, but kind of showed Celtic intent that they obviously want to keep the ball on the pitch and try and keep that intensity and keep Dundee United defending as long as they can. We grew so accustomed to seeing that during the Postecoglou reign, as Scales picks up infield to McGregor and back to Arthur. It's a dodgy little touch, takes him back towards goal. Fata closing him down. He's found Sinisalo though, who clears with the right foot. Underneath it with the head is Ross Graham. It's off Arthur's head, back into the United half, and Chevy has it right of the centre circle as he chops back the way, passes it back to Iovu, square ball to Graham, and that's a poor one out of defence by Ross Graham. It's picked up by Yang and finds Maida, now Hatate. Yang Hyun-jun's onto it, Ajiye with the pressure wins it back. The ball just won't sit for Celtic right now, as Donovan collects a loose one from United this time in the centre circle. It's back with McGregor, forward to Nigrin in a pocket of space, looking for Iheanacho. It just slowed up on the pitch again, and Iovu slides in to knock it out for a throw-in on this near side for Celtic. Goalless in the early stages of the second half at Tannadice.
Normally players on a good pitch, you don't even have to look at the ball, you know, and they're looking where the pass goes and their heads up and they pass it. Here you've got to look down to the ball every single time, and if you don't, your pass is either not hit hard enough or is inaccurate.
And I think it's a catch-22 as well, because the harder you hit it, the more it magnifies the mistake. So when the ball does bobble up, if you fire it in, which you need to, if it doesn't get caught quite right, it looks like a horrendous pass, and it just brings the crowd on top of you, who are obviously demanding those passes and that intensity in the game.
Scales in the centre circle. He's got Maida out in the touchline. Again, he's sold his teammate short there. Stevenson steps in, but it's out for a Celtic throw-in off him on this near side. Scales takes it quickly and finds Dyson Maida. Plays it with the left foot into the midfield for McGregor, central position. Rolls it with his left foot to the right for Donovan. Back for McGregor. McGregor trying to find a way through. It's a short square ball to Hatate again, who does likewise to his right for Donovan. Then back infield to McGregor, looking for a way through here. It's forward to Maida, lovely touch for Hatate. Wasn't such a good touch, he's gone down though. The Celtic fans think it was a foul in the box. Iheanacho eventually is bullied off the ball with 3 or 4 United defenders around him.
I tell you, there was a chance there maybe that he was caught, but obviously they may check it if that happens, but Dundee United on the counter-attack.
Yeah, with Ferrugia on this right side, up against Tierney. Tierney trying to stick with him. Ferrugia is on the ball though, right hand side of the Celtic box, rolls it back to Stevenson, controls with the undersole of his right boot, and it comes for Waters. He does get the head onto it, and he does force Sinisalo into the save, albeit it's a comfortable one to his right. He holds on with both hands. So McGregor picks up back to Donovan, who rifles it forward. Graham's there to pick it up for the home team, and it stays goalless at Tannadice. That was a promising build-up by United as Scales takes the touch, that'll go for a corner unless Sinisalo can prevent it, which he does. Dundee United 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, Scales was unsure if there was anybody behind him. He just obviously got caught a little bit in his orientation, and he just had to get a foot to it, but Sinisalo saved the corner.
The thing about Celtic just now, Pat, is that they are making these games look like hard work, harder work than we've seen Celtic teams do in recent years.
Yes, of course they are, but I think they have a bit of an excuse today. I think both teams have an excuse, only from a point of view of...
Well, you say that, they've just given it away again, Celtic. Vichko-Chevy's onto it, driving forward, having robbed Hatate. Farrugia's at the edge of the box, thought about the shot on the left, instead he checks, turns it to Chevy. To the right side, Stevenson across, chance in the back post for Ferry, and he scores! Dundee United leads! Will Ferry, left-footed, forces it past Sinisalo, and the champions are in a hole again, this time at Tannadice, as United look to go back-to-back when it comes to home wins over the champions. It is Dundee United 1, Celtic 0, and Will Ferry's first of the season could have serious repercussions at the top of the table.
It's an absolutely great goal from Dundee United. We're just talking about that lack of quality, but they get the ball up, they drive, they get it out wide right, and it's the first time they've put a ball in the box. It's really asked a question of Celtic. It does bobble past two Dundee United strikers, but it gets to that back stick, and there's no mistake there from the finish. A great ball from Stevenson across, asks the question, and it's a great finish. Just puts it back across the face, catch the keeper on the wrong foot.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Celtic where it all happened from. It happened with Hatate getting bundled over in the middle of the pitch, missing out physically on the tackle, and then Yang was out of position, but you still have to try to get back, and he didn't. He stopped. Will Ferry just drifted off him away onto the back post, and when the ball broke down this right-hand side, Will Ferry was all on his own at the back post. Nobody picking him up, nobody able to pick him up because everybody else was man-marked.
It's not a clean finish by any stretch of the imagination from Will Ferry, but he managed to get enough on it to force it into the net, and Celtic are behind again, as they were against Motherwell at home last week. This is a massive test of character now, and it's music to the ears of this title rivals Hearts and Rangers, but here comes Celtic. Iheanacho into the box, sits one defender down, pulls it back, Maida can't catch it, it's away by Ferry, the goal scorer, and Stevenson helps it on its way. Well, yeah. It's opened up well there for Kelechi Iheanacho on the left. He'll be annoyed that one of his teammates hasn't done better with that. It was Maida on this occasion. Nygren for Hatate, forward to Benjamin Nygren at the edge of the box, shifts it back to McGregor, left-footed ball out to Donovan. Back in field for McGregor, fires it out to the left for Tierney. Celtic behind, but on the ball, midway inside the United half. McGregor to Donovan, out to the far side for Yang. Perhaps United's top six hopes not over yet. As they lead this one, it's out to Donovan. It's a dreadful ball which just about clipped the roof of the shed, and that will be a goal kick to Dundee United. It is 1-0 to Dundee United. We've played 8 minutes the second half.
Yeah, big test for Celtic now. They broke quite well there, but almost they just kept an extra pass and allowed Dundee United to get back into that defensive shape, and they were quite comfortable. They've got to be a bit more risk taken now. When they get into a position, play that ball quicker forward.
Yeah, the whole game's changed now. Celtic comfortable sitting, looking, waiting for Dundee United to come after something. Now being a goal down, they need to go after it. They need to start taking those risks. They need to start playing those passes between the lines and start gambling that they can get on something. And perhaps this is where they miss that goal scorer that they've been longing for all season. Somebody that they know that they can get the ball in and he'll take a touch and get a shot and score a goal from nothing. But yeah, an uphill battle for them now, literally and figuratively.
I would say Martin O'Neill will be on the bench talking to his staff to see will he make those changes.
I'm saying first goal of the season for Will Ferry. It is his first goal for Dundee United, and it could make plenty headlines as United pick up a free kick. Adjie is fouled left of the centre circle. Martin O'Neill's got plenty to ponder again here, and Iheanacho's left his studs on top of Adjie's boot there.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the ones running down. I think it's Tonecti will come on, maybe Oxlade-Chamberlain also.
I think Martin O'Neill wants to do something. He needs to bring some fresh legs in and maybe a change of shape or a change of tactics. But the game plan was certainly working. It was a frustrating game. It was a bobbly pitch, and they were still very much in it. And we spoke at half time of the goal coming from a mistake or from a set piece. Ultimately came from a good bit of play from Dundee United. But that's changed the whole pace of the game now. And Celtic need to get after it and need to get on the front foot and start creating more than they're doing currently.
Ferry's free kick, left-footed, clipped into the Celtic box. Ross Graham wins the first 10. It's only half away. There's a shot from Fatah, which Sinisalo holds on to. He's just outside the box, side foot with the left. The keeper holds on as he aimed for that top left corner. It's these United 1, Celtic 0. The one thing Celtic could potentially grab onto, as we discussed earlier, nobody has lost more points from winning positions this season than Dundee United. But they do have a lead again here. Jim Goodwin down there, he's applauding his players, he's cajoling them as they look to make it 2 with Fatah there.
Yeah, and Dundee United have taken some confidence from the goal. They're winning the first balls, they're picking up the scraps, which is something they didn't do in the first half. They were absolutely winning those first contacts into the box, or the first contacts long, but when it was dropping, it was Celtic that were picking it up. You've started to see that flip now, and United are starting to pick up the scraps. But as you suggested, Celtic now looking to make the changes, and it'll be interesting to see what they do here.
Yeah, Tenecti's waiting. And Dundee United looking to beat Celtic twice in a row at home in the league for the first time since 1991. Iheanacho's coming off, so too's Callum McGregor. Clearly not ready to play a full match yet after his calf problems. Tenecti for Iheanacho, Maida will go through the middle. McGregor will be replaced by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Celtic behind, and they've got to win. They've got to come in these matches with a mindset they've got to win their final 8 games of the season, and right now they're staring, Pat, at a 12th game in the Premiership campaign that they haven't won.
Yeah, absolutely. Every point in every game, we talked about it, there's not many left now, and they've got to turn this game around somehow. Be a major blow for them.
And this is not the type of pitch where you want to be chasing the game and you want to be trying to increase the tempo and start to force things. The pitch just won't allow it, so they need to find an answer to how did they put Dundee United under a bit more pressure, and how do they ask these questions of them.
Yeah, and they put Maeda through the middle. Adamu's on the bench again, a player that was supposed to come in and make an impact, and when you have a striker, you would expect another striker to come on. Maeda's, it's interesting.
Tenecti from Tierney gets the ball towards the edge of the box, cleared by Iovu. Now it's with Hatate, finds Nygren, couldn't nick it through to Maida. It's blocked and cleared by Carestes. Out for a Celtic throw-in on the far side, level with the edge of the D of the United box.
I don't know many times that Nygren's got the ball in a decent position, about 20 yards out, and his final pass just either to slot somebody in or go himself, and has failed today.
2 minutes shy of the hour mark. Dundee United 1, Celtic 0 here on Sports Sound and BBC Radio Scotland. It is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain for Celtic. Ball in field to Hatate, midway inside United territory. Rolls it with the right foot, out to Tenecti on the left, controls with the right undersole. Now he's going to take on his man, he drives it low, it's blocked by Stevenson, who clears. Scales is onto it and has to go back to Sinisalo, who's outside his box. Midway inside his own half, plays it short to his right for Arthur. And then to Scales. So he moves up towards the halfway line, plays it out to Tenecti on this left-hand side, right in front of the watching O'Neill. Now it's Scales in his own half again, to the halfway line for Oxlade-Chamberlain. United defending well today. They were defending well across the road at Dens last week, and somehow let a 2-goal lead slip. Benjamin Arthur for Celtic, right of the centre circle, plays it back into it for Scales, forward to Hatate.
Yeah, lots of passing from Celtic as Dundee, and they just dropping back almost another 5 yards further back, and leaving the ball with Celtic, and they're knocking it about. It's not hurting them in any way.
Yeah, I think the game's changed now. First half it's 0-0. Dundee United still need to win if they've any of those faint hopes.
Well, that's a lovely ball by Oxlade-Chamberlain behind Donovan, pulls it back across, but there's no one in green and white in the right position. Hatate had gone to the goal. Maida was at the back post. It was offside anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. It was a lovely pick out by Oxlade-Chamberlain despite the offside against Colby Donovan.
And that's exactly what they're going to need to start doing. They need to start taking that risky pass. It looks onside from here. I think valid. I've shown him onside with
Very tight, isn't it? The
Very
guys
tight.
have got a monitor in front of them, which is great for them.
But as I was just saying before, they kind of snuck in behind there. The game's completely changed now. Dundee United have got their goal, they're happy to sit in. Nobody's going to bite. Celtic are still playing the ball round about the pitch, looking for a Dundee United player to come and shut them down, but they don't need to. They've got the goal, they're happy. 1-0 wins in the game, and they're happy to sit. And as Pat said, they seem to have dropped slightly deeper, and they'll just see this game out and they'll defend, and they'll look to hit Celtic on the break, which is when the game will open up for them.
Yeah, Colby Donovan is down injured. He twisted himself when he played that ball into the box. I don't think there was a contact.
I think he was thrown over the hoarding.
Oh, that's what happened. Oh, he's caught himself on the hoarding as he's.
The advertising there behind the goal. So we played an hour at Tannadice, and Celtic once again are in a battle at 0-0. We were talking about how they've been making these games look much harder work than they have in recent seasons. This is another example of it here on a terrible playing surface, but Mark Reynolds, Jim Goodwin down there will be absolutely delighted right now, but he'll be wary of the number of times they've let Leeds slip this season.
I'm sure he's been hammering at them all week and all season that they need to get better at that, they need to get better at defending, but this is a strange game. There's no momentum in the game, there's no tempo. Celtic haven't got a foothold, so this suits Dundee United. The game stopped because for the next 30 minutes you would expect Celtic to put Dundee United under siege here and ask them questions, and it's tiring. It's hard work defending, so they're getting a breather here, they're getting to regain their energy and go again for that last half an hour. But this looks like it could be his game.
He's finished. They've made a sign to the bench.
Ralston's coming on.
Ralston's coming on that right hand side. That's very unfortunate for the young man to, you don't mind getting injured if you're on the pitch, but to get injured by a hoarding that you've tried to jump over, and he's caught himself.
An interesting route to take him off the pitch. If I was Celtic, I would have wanted him straight off that part to get the ball back in play, get the sub on and get the tempo going and start asking these questions for the last half an hour. They're slowing the game down, which plays right into Dundee United's hands here.
Well, Luke McCowan's come on.
Oh, it's Luke McCowan, Who's he? Is he putting Yang, is it?
I did see Ralston going back towards that. There's a bit of confusion there. Hatate's gone out there. Well, Ralston was certainly been readied, but it's Luke McCowan who's come on, former Dundee captain, who's on the ball here at the edge of his own box. Goes back to Scales. 16th time this season in the league Celtic have found themselves behind. They found an equaliser on 8 of the 15 occasions before this. Do they have an equaliser in them? And even then, that might not be enough for them. Here's Tierney just inside the United half, plays it with the left foot back to Scales. He's got the armband now. Callum McGregor has departed. Oxlade-Chamberlain fires it out to Rio Hatate in that new position over on the right. Down the line it goes for Yang, level with the penalty spot, pulls it back to Hatate, and it comes. Oh, Maynard Brewer spills it! It bounces on the line, and somehow it bounces back up into the gloves of the United goalkeeper.
Oh my word, and it was just a speculative sort of almost cross-come shot in, and I think he got it all wrong actually, Hatate, but the goalkeeper must have taken his eye off the ball, and it comes off him through his hands, it hits the post, hits the line and spins back into play. Oh, he's got a lucky man.
If ever something happened to make you think it's not going to be your day, the Celtic fans will be thinking that just now.
Was it Oxlade-Chamberlain had the shot against Motherwell last week? It went along the goal line.
Yeah,
it was, wasn't it? Yeah. Somehow that didn't go in. That time. It was the post goalkeeper and post last week as well. But that was a brilliant save last week.
It's better play from Celtic. They're getting the ball wide, they're asking those questions that need to be asked, and they get the shot on target, and it's one of those things the keeper fumbles it.
However, Mark, United have gone up the pitch and won a corner here, which Fatah's going to take. He's aimed it towards Aji at the edge of the box. Yang doesn't get to it, Kerestes does, and he lumps it back into the area, but it goes behind the left side of the goal, and it's a goal kick to Celtic. It's United 1, Celtic 0. We played 19 minutes of the second half. Celtic need to score 2 unanswered goals, Pat, or they're in serious trouble when it comes to this title defence.
Yeah, I think that on this pitch they might take a point out of this one and try to stay in it that way, but 3 points is what they came here for. If they don't get it, a huge disappointment.
Well, Hearts are playing Livingston, who I think everyone expects to go straight down in their next game. Dundee United go to Ibrox to take on Rangers. So they're in this situation right now, Celtic, where defeat or even a draw today would leave them with too much work to do when it gets to the split. We shall see. Celtic's next game's on the road again, just across the road at Dens. Here come United with Ferry, left-hand side of the box. He's away from Atate. He's in the box, pulls it back for Waters, takes a touch, shoots and blocked. Breaks back to Adjie, deflected, goal! Dundee United's top 6 hopes might not be dead yet. Adjie makes it 2. And that might be the game right there. It might be Celtic's title hopes right there. It is Dundee United 2, Celtic 0, and a goal that will be celebrated in Gorgie and Govan alike.
Yeah, I think it'll stand, but that was again, Hatate's gone into the left, into the right back position, failed in his defensive duties up against Will Ferry, beats him too easily, and when that ball's cut back, they had 2 goals at it, first one blocked, and then when it comes, goes through, bodies, goalkeeper no chance.
It's another great goal. I think somebody must have heard me say that this game's going to be won by a mistake or a set piece, because they've done the complete opposite. Dundee United have scored 2 fantastic goals from open play. But no, as Pat said there, the right back's beat too easily for me. Ferry does well to get it across, he cuts it back. They do well to defend the first shot, but Dundee United on that front foot get the ball at the edge of the box. A fantastic strike. He does get the deflection, but it seems to be one of those days where everything is bobbling for Dundee United, and they won't be complaining.
Yeah, I mean, that's come 2 minutes after Maynard Brewer almost spilled it into his own net up the other end. 2-0 Dundee United. Oxlade-Chamberlain tries to play it out to Tinekti. Celtic needs something to happen, and they need it to happen soon. McCowan, left side of the box. Tinekti's cross is deep, it's too deep, it's behind on the other side of the goal for a goal kick. United.
The final ball's just been thrown today, but as we've touched on many times, the pitch is just not conducive to good football and trying to be too precise. You see it from Dundee United's first goal. They just roll a ball across the face, it bobbles over the 2 defenders' foot and they get the goal, and Celtic trying to be too precise with everything and just not getting on the end of it.
However, we do repeat the fact that United were 2-0 up at Dens last week, and I mean, they scored twice in a minute and a half. There was 3.5 minutes of stoppage time on the clock when Dundee pulled one back through Hay, and then the Ross Graham OG, which came just after that, after he gave away the free kick that led to his own goal.
I think the thing for Dundee United here is that the players on the pitch will be the most aware of that they were 2-0 up, they were in control of that game, probably their best performance in recent months, and they managed to throw it away, so they'll be very much guarded against the fact of this game's not over. They've been bitten once, so let's make sure it doesn't happen again. I'm sure nobody more so than Ross Graham will want to make sure that that's put to bed.
Yeah, this is
there's 2 balls on the pitch. Oh my
God, and there's a player, Sarachi runs across the goal.
The sub, to get the ball off
and
the
he's
pitch.
Still on the pitch.
Free kick for a foul on Adjie in the midfield, though. United have it, and it's just outside the centre circle. Dundee United with a 2-0 lead, and we're into the final quarter.
It's not as if Celtic have made great chances in the second half again. It's been a real struggle for them.
It's not been a game of any great quality other than Dundee United's 2 goals, which they've taken great, but it's a hard one. It's a hard game for you to build that tempo and build that momentum, and Celtic to get on the front foot, because the pitch won't allow it. The pitch is slowing the game down. It's playing right into Dundee United's hands.
Bouncing ball, Nygren has it back to the edge of his own box, but they can't get it clear. Ferry's going to keep it in play down with the corner flag, left hand side of the area, and it comes, chance, Sheffy's header, and Sinisalo holds on to it, and suddenly Celtic are right back up against the ropes here. 2-0 down, and if it stays this way, they can't get anything out of this. They will be 5 points behind Hearts with 7 games to go.
Yeah, it's a bit tall order for any team to. The only hope you have is that you beat Hearts when you have to play them again, and that might then, take it back to 2. But certainly I don't see Hearts and Rangers, for that matter, losing too many games.
I think that's where the split comes into play, where everybody needs to play everybody, and it brings in that theatre, it brings in that excitement. But Celtic not want to be in this position, and you'd rather have the points. I think you'd rather be where Hearts are. I know everybody's trying to paint the picture of Hearts being chased down and Hearts being the ones under pressure, but I think if you're any of those 3 teams, you want the team at the top with the points to the board, and you want to be the ones to be caught rather than doing the catching.
United come again. Waters rolls it out to Stevenson, wide in the right, looks up at the box. Lucas Stevenson drives it in, and Hatate's header takes it up into the air, down towards his goal, and Sinisalo holds on to it. How interested are Dundee United in the top 6 right now? Their next game's at Ibrox. They then host Livingston, whereas Falkirk are at home to Rangers after they go to Fir Park. So 2 tough games for Falkirk. Yes, United have to go to Ibrox. It's still alive for them right now.
I think that's why MD, that's followed Scottish football for any length of time, only waits until it's mathematically impossible.
Well, the goal difference, Mark, right now is 7 in Falkirk's favour at the moment, so there's still that to overturn as well.
But Falkirk would need to lose every game, so they're going to be minimum -3 goals, and if Dundee United win all 3, that's +3, so it brings it's a 1 goal swing, so the goal difference is almost moot as well. So no, Scottish football, I think it's why we love it. There's something to play for at every level. There's people pushing for the title, people pushing for Europe, people pushing for the top 6, and then that relegation dogfight and all to play for.
Meanwhile, Zach Sapsford has come on for Farrugia. 2-0 Dundee United with 19 minutes of the 90 left. Oxlade-Chamberlain leaving it for Scales on this near side. To the halfway line for McCowan, back to Scales, back to McCowan. Celtic supporters pleading with their players to get the ball forward.
I think the thing as well for this game, usually when you're playing a Celtic team like this on a good pitch, they'll move the ball, they'll ask you questions, you need to defend all the time. But here they come again with a mistake.
It's a loose one by United. Sebastian Tenekti up towards the edge of the box. He's into it now, left hand side, looking for the byline. There was a little nibble there by Iovu. If Tenekti goes down there, then the referee's got a decision to make, but he eventually sees it behind. Goal kick United. 2-0 United here at Tannadice.
That's good defending for me. He pushes him onto the side that he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to let him in on the inside, where he's got that right foot that he can bend it around the goalkeeper. We've seen him so many times. He pushes it onto his left, and then he loses almost control of the ball.
No, I was just saying before that mistake there, this has not been the type of Celtic performance where you're under pressure and you're physically exhausted the last 10-15 minutes. The game's not had that much tempo in it. It's been pretty stop-start, it's been scrappy, so you would expect to see a Dundee United team be able to finish this strong. They're not going to be tired. You're looking at them not making those mistakes that typically creep in, and when you're at a Celtic team that's on form and pushing, they ask you questions right up to the final whistle, and you're constantly defending and you can't switch off. Whereas this game's not been like that. This game's been a lot slower, and you've been able to just to shuffle across and keep that shape, as Dundee United have done so well throughout the whole game.
There's been a lot of Celtic performances like that this season, though the intensity's just been lacking. Even at the start of the season under Rodgers, and that was something that he built his Celtic teams on, as did Postecoglou. And as Tierney plays it forward for Nygren, under pressure from Fatai, goes back to Oxlade-Chamberlain, left of the centre circle, to the right of it for Hatate. In the United half, Oxlade-Chamberlain to Tierney, forward it comes to McCowan, left angle of the box, his cross is cut out by Chevy and behind for a Celtic corner. They need the next goal, and they probably need it to come quite soon.
Yeah, just go back to those couple of goals from Dundee United. They put Hatate into the right back eventually, and the second goal definitely comes from poor defending from him.
Strange, because Ralston was ready to come on, or at least he was making his way towards the dugout.
I think the thing is, a Celtic team as well, your right back is not usually defending that much. You're usually, and especially in this game, you're wanting to be on the front foot, causing problems.
In from Nygren, hitting the volley by McCowan. It's fairly tame down into the ground. A comfortable take for Maynard Brewer. It stays Dundee United 2, Celtic 0. James Forrest is going to be on for Celtic for the closing stages of a game. They are 2 down in.
Yeah, but those impact players need also a bit of quality and get into good positions, high up the pitch. But they can almost force back today because of the pitch and the way that Dundee United have played.
Yeah, Celtic giving it away in Fatah, the edge of the box, goes for glory. It's well over, and it's a goal kick, and it's a double change for Celtic. So James Forrest, as I said, is coming on. Junior Adamu's going to come on too. Off is coming Hatate. And the decision to put Rio Hatate at right back, I'm not saying Ralston would have defended any better, he probably would have done though.
He would have.
That second goal has come directly really from the decision to play Rio Hatate at right back when Donovan came off injured.
Now they've taken Hatate off and they're putting Yang into the right back position and Forrest ahead of him.
I think as a manager you live and die with these decisions, and unfortunately for Celtic today it's one that's not worked out for them. But as I said earlier, Celtic are always looking at the defenders to be on that front foot and going forward, and Hatate certainly gave you that. He just never had that opportunity, and with the way the pitch is played today, you question if he would ever have had the opportunity.
Benjamin Nygren has also come off there for Celtic. He's had a poor afternoon as United come forward. Ferry's thrown into the box, headed away by Arthur. Chevy's ball out to the far side, looking for Waters, is cut out, breaks to Tyson Maida, facing his own goal though. He's then fouled by Chevy. Free kick to Celtic, 2-0 to United. Less than 15 minutes of the 90 to go. If Celtic get anything out of this, Pat?
Can't see it, to be honest. They would need to get a goal very, very quickly to give themselves a chance to even get a point out of this game, but I don't see them making the chances.
Oxlade-Chamberlain sweeps it to the left side of the centre circle for Tierney, who helps it out to the left touchline for Tinekti. Taking on Stevenson, level with the penalty spot. Back to Tierney, bends the cross in, headed away by Ross Graham. And that's a nice header by Sapsford back to Adjie, gets it forward into the Celtic half. It's dumped, and Arthur lets it go through to Sinisalo. The Celtic keeper make that excellent save from Will Ferry in the first half, couldn't prevent Ferry opening the score in here, and couldn't prevent Adjie making it 2-0. And Dundee United looking for back-to-back home league wins over Celtic for the first time in 35 years are well placed to do just that. Scales forward it comes, roll there to Adamu, it's back to Oxlade-Chamberlain, and then that's played by Oxlade-Chamberlain off Yang. It bounces back to Arthur, who's put it straight into touch on this near side. And the Celtic supporters, as they were here in December, are absolutely furious down there.
Celtic are now in a position where they need to force the game, they need to start moving it quicker, and the pitch is just not conducive to that type of football, and it's just compounding the fact that they can't get the ball where they need it to be, and the fans get on their back and they try and go even more, and it gets worse, and it's just a spiral that they can't seem to get out of.
Reminder, Martin O'Neill had won 20 out of 20 against Dundee United as Celtic manager. It is United 2-0 up with Fata. Nice little turn away from Yang. Arthur's there to clear. Turned back out to this near side by Adjie, looking for Stevenson, goes off Tierney's head and out for a United throw-in on this near side. Now Celtic love a late goal. They've scored plenty of them again this season, despite having well-documented issues. But there's still been a lot of late goals in their games this season.
Yeah, Will Ferry's come over onto this right-hand side, just slows the game down, and that suits Dundee United.
Yeah.
We've got the big centre half, so they're keeping one back this time. Not all of them have gone up.
Scored 13 goals in the league in the final 15 minutes of matches, but it's United looking to do so here. Long thrown into the box. Graham wins the header. Waters on the turn. It's blocked and off Oxlade-Chamberlain, and behind for a Dundee United corner. 12 minutes to play. They lead 2-0, and they're looking for a sensational third goal here.
Yeah, it's a real asset, that long throw, and Graham's a fantastic target man. He's won every long throw into the box, and Dundee United now starting to pick up those scraps, which is in the first half. But amazing what 2 goals will do to you. And Dundee United on the front foot, looking for a third, which I don't think many sitting here would have expected me to be saying that today.
It's going to be a corner to be taken by Will Ferry. Outswinger with the left foot on the far side as they attack the goal to the right, and it comes, headed away by Scales. Maida chasing after it. He's on to it, slips, gets back to his feet, still he has it, rolls it back to Oxlade-Chamberlain. Forrest was the target down the line, blocked by Will Ferry again though. United have defended superbly today. I asked the question during the derby, and I know they dropped a couple of points. I was wondering where they'd be if they'd played like that in every game this season. Well, this has been another excellent performance. A lovely turn by Chevy. Maida comes in from behind and fouls him. United have a free kick in an attacking position. They have a 2-0 lead as we approach the final 10 here.
Yeah, typical Maida foul.
Yellow for Maida.
Yeah, coming in with pace. There's no when to slow down when he gets there, and he just bundles over Shiva, and that allows again the game to slow down. It suits Dundee United. Good position again for them, this time a little bit further out.
United have a man down. There's going to be some treatment here. Mark, who are the title favourites in your eyes right now? Celtic will be 5 adrift, assuming they lose this game now. Rangers 3 behind Hearts.
I think it's always a hard one for me, because I have no not interest in who wins it. I have no allegiance to any of the teams. My closest allegiance is probably Derek McInnes as an ex-manager. And
well, that makes it easier for you if you've no allegiance to tell me who's the favourite.
So I'm not a bookie, so the favourites is kind of, my opinion is irrelevant on who the favourites are, but I would love to see Hearts win it. Just for a change. Again, I've got a few boys there. Harry Milne, who I played with Cove, Lawrence Shankland, who I played with United.
How good's Harry Milne been this season?
Unbelievable.
Incidentally.
Well, he's been as good as he's been for the last 5-6 years. Harry Milne's always been a fantastic player. Was incredible at Cove Rangers, incredible at Partick, and it has kicked on, and it is now playing at the top level, which from the first season I saw him, I always knew he could do.
Ferry takes the free kick, and Sinisalo taps it over. He got plenty behind that, did Ferry. And as United look for that third goal, it's a corner only though.
Yeah, straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. I just wonder whether he's trying to hold that, but I think he just maybe give the benefit of the doubt that he just helped it on his way over the crossbar.
Celtic need to score at least 2 goals, yet it's United who are pinning them right back here again. Ferry this time from this near side. He's had an excellent afternoon once more. Incredible to think that was his first United goal, because he's always an attacking threat. He's going to take this left-footed, and it comes. The header's won, and it's over the crossbar from Iovu. Round about the penalty spot, he met it. Celtic just not defending these set plays. The throw-ins, the corners, the free kicks well enough at all. It is Dundee United 2, Celtic 0, as United creep ever closer to another famous victory over Celtic, a team they've so rarely beaten in recent years.
This is one of those games where that slope at Tannadice just gets bigger and bigger, and Celtic will be feeling it now as they're trying to push up it, and Dundee United just using it to hem them in and create that forward momentum to will them in and potentially score a third.
They've only won 2 of the last 36 against Celtic. United, as Tenecti picks up on this left side, gets the cross in, it's cleared by Graham again, helped on its way by Adjie. Oxlade-Chamberlain fires it out to Forrest on the right hand side, dancing along the 18-yard lines on his left. He scuffs it, but it breaks to Tierney, he shoots deflected. Maidan, Maynard Brewer closed the angle down. It was behind for the goal kick. I thought the keeper got a touch on that. I think Maida does too, but it's going to be a goal kick only, and it will stay Dundee United 2, Celtic 0.
Yeah, he's just got outside of his foot when it broke to my head on that back post. It was deflection into his path. He's just not able to get enough contact on the ball, and it just goes wide of the right hand post, and that's the goal the Celtic needed. They needed that goal at this time just to put the pressure on Dundee United to get something out of this game.
Nothing dropping for Celtic either. They get the break of the ball, and even when they get the break, it just doesn't quite sit for them to get that shot away. Keeper does well, and I think makes the save for me in the end, but they somehow manage to get a goal kick.
Bouncing ball, Arthur gets it half away. Midway inside the Celtic half, it drops to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, gets it through to Maida, first time with the right foot out to Forrest on the right side. Tries to get the ball down the line, blocked by, again, Will Ferry, and out for a Celtic throw-in, level with the edge of the centre circle. Over on the Celtic right. We have got 7 minutes of the 90 left. Dundee United 2, Celtic 0. Scales in the centre circle, carrying it forward. He's got Tenecti out in the touchline. Passes it out to Tenecti. It's a heavy touch, but he's managed to get back onto it away from Satsford. Reverses it to Tierney in the box. It's across the back post. Can't find Adamu. It's with Forrest right hand side, blasted across and cleared by Sapsford. Nobody in green and white's able to do anything inside the Dundee United box this afternoon, and it's out of play for a United throw-in over on the far side.
I think he's kept it in play. I think we're still playing.
He has. It's come back to Sinisalo. He plays it short to Scales, takes it up to the halfway line. Scales goes into the United half. Tenecti to the left. Scales looks up at the box. No obvious option for him. Has to square it back to Oxlade-Chamberlain under pressure from Adjie. Finds Yang. And in field to Oxlade-Chamberlain again. Taken out to this near side, right-footed low ball out to Tenecti on the touchline, faced by Lucas Stevenson, gets it through to Tierney, goes through his legs, finds Adamu, gives it straight to Lucas Stevenson, who will clear. Sapsford helps it on its way. Oxlade-Chamberlain picks it up, fires it to his right for Yang. Under pressure from Fatah, out to Forrest over there on the far side. Forrest coming in field, he goes down, no fouls, is the referee. It was Adjie's challenge. Forrest with his arms outstretched at Nick Walsh. Celtic have a throw in on the far side. United with a 2-0 lead, and we are very much in the closing stages here.
Celtic starting to turn the screw now, but it seems like too little too late, and they really need something immediately.
Scales out to Tenekti on this left hand side, and careful what I say given what went on at Dens last week. Tenekti, Scales, left angle of the box. Tenekti carrying it into the areas, level with the 6-yard line, almost overcooks it, blocked, breaks back to McCowan on the 18-yard line. United have defended manfully today. Clip ball into the box is poor from Oxlade-Chamberlain, comes all the way through. Maynard Brewer lets it go out for the goal kick. Dundee United 2, Celtic 0. We have seldom seen a Celtic team like this one. They are a pale imitation of what's going on and what has gone on over the course of the last, 14-15 years now.
Yeah, they've struggled today, there's no doubt about that, and the 3 centre backs for Dundee United have been superb. They just bossed anything that's come into that box, and particularly Ross Graham. I know he had a bad day last week, but listen, you know, he looks like a player who knows what he's actually doing as a defender, that's for sure, and he's just got the other 2 alongside him up to the task today.
Yeah, and he did have a bad day last week, but he actually it was an excellent performance from him, and I suppose his manager would have just been hammering that into him throughout the week, that look, you played well, these things can happen. So Oxlade-Chamberlain knocks it out to Yang, but it really was that foul, wasn't it, just in the build-up to Dundee's second last week, that he was really culpable for. Scales gets it forward to the edge of the United box. It's with James Forrest, goes down, free kick just outside the D for Celtic here. United 2-0 up, 3.5 of the 90 to play. Celtic though with a free kick.
Yeah, free kick in a very dangerous place. The best pass, I think, from the centre backs today into that sort of player in that James Forrest, who just drifted in from the right hand side, got himself into a nice position, and was able then with his little bit of skill to beat the player coming to him, but it was caught. And this is about 24 yards out, 23 yards out, almost middle of the goal. Difficult for the goalkeeper.
This has to go in, doesn't it? This has to go in for Celtic, or it's surely done.
Well, it has to hit the target anyway, that's for sure.
So Tenekti is over it, McCowan is over it. It's Tenekti with the right or McCowan with the left. It's a 4-man United wall with a couple of stragglers just to the right of it. It's Luke McCowan takes straight into the wall and then hoofed away by Amar Fatah. And you'd think that Celtic's hopes of salvaging something from this have probably gone now, as Craig Sibbald, Falkirk bound Craig Sibbald, prepares to come on for Vichko Chevy.
Yeah, it's an awful free kick again, wasn't it? You know, no ability to beat the wall. You've got to get it up and over, and you're far enough out to do that, but it goes straight into the middle of the wall and away to safety for Dundee United. And yeah, big day for them, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, Pat said, when you're looking to score from that, you need to at least get it on target, or at least force the keeper into a save. But a huge result for Dundee United. As we spoke about earlier, until mathematically impossible, they'll still have hopes of making that top 6, and this just compounds that more. And they'll go to, or they've got Rangers next, and they'll be looking to have another dent in somebody else's title aspirations as well.
Hearts will hope so. I'm sure Hearts take on Livingston next, in what's been, on paper, certainly hasn't worked out that way away from home. There's always going to be a decent run in for them. As McCowan picks up, it's a long ball down the left side. Tierney trying to get onto it. The ref blows the whistle for offside. 90 seconds of 90 minutes left. Dundee United 2, Celtic 0. Pan Kamara is going to replace Max Waters. And Jim Goodwin's next change. He's saved a lot of his subs up for this exact moment. And right now, you would have to say, Dundee United are comfortably heading for the 3 points.
Yeah, it's been a comfortable day for them, I've got to say. And Mark was absolutely right in his commentary to say that, you know, Celtic have no flow in the game, no ability to sustain a little bit of pressure. Everything's sort of kind of almost hit and miss, and they haven't been able to threaten the goalkeeper.
Well, that's the thing for Hearts, where they have slipped up this season. Celtic and Rangers have looked culpable at giving points away themselves. Hearts have been top since mid-September. and they don't want to be giving that up. They're going to have increased their lead. The balance at the top of the table will have been increased with this weekend's matches. They were 2 ahead of Celtic. They will now be 3 ahead of Rangers, who are in second. Celtic 5 adrift with just 7 games to go. Oxlade-Chamberlain for Celtic looking to switch the play. Stevenson's there though. Boots it clear into the Celtic half. We're going into the final few seconds of the 90 minutes here. Scales back to his goalkeeper. And the stoppage time, which Jim Goodwin will be hoping it's not, I was away to say more than 3, it's 6, which I think is what it was last week. In fact, it was 5, wasn't it? 5 minutes were added last week. They conceded twice in it.
They're just double checking he's not held that board up upside down as well.
Oxlade-Chamberlain on this near side. Tenekte wide on the left. Out comes Iovu. Just going to see it behind expertly there. Tenekte was hoping to get at least a corner. Iovu just didn't touch the ball and let it trickle behind for the goal kick. Martin O'Neill down there heading back into his dugout. His record as Celtic manager is outstanding across the piece. Obviously those 5 years he spent at the turn of the century at the club dominating that, but this is going to be just a 17th Scottish top flight defeat for Martin O'Neill in over 200 games.
That's his record, 20 games gone, is it?
I think that's the commentator Scott.
Is that what you said?
How many games gone?
You said 20 games since, and all of them he's beat Dundee.
Oh, the Dundee United, the games against United, he's won all previous 20, including the 4-0 win when he returned for his second interim spell. And Sinisalo plays it short. And we've played one of the 6 minutes that were added. Liam Scales marauding up towards the halfway line. Low ball for Maida. Back to Scales, turns it out to Tierney. First time, hammers it forward more in hope than anything, and it's straight to Ross Graham, who clears his lines all the way through to Sinisalo. Jim Goodwin will be desperate for the clean sheet as well, because they've been few and far between this season for them, and that has also been so costly for them, as well as all those draws.
No, it has. As you say, they'll still be worried because it was later than this when they started losing the goals in the last game. So just looking at seeing the game out and getting those points on the board, getting a gap between them and the teams behind them, because I think as much as their hopes are alive of potentially getting into that top 6, they could still very much get dragged back into that relegation playoff. So we want to get the points on the board and want to see this one out, as you say, with a clean sheet.
You would think this would mean they don't need to worry about that at all, unlike certain others. I know it's cleared out for a throw-in on the far side for Celtic, level with the penalty spot. Yang takes it to McCowan, breaks back to Oxlade-Chamberlain. There's Luke McCowan. It's just got away from him though, and it's come off and last and behind for the goal kick to Dundee United. What a fine day it's been for Jim Goodwin and his players.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking at Celtic and they passed the ball from back to wide to try to do something, waiting for the moment. Today, I think you've got to get a ball into the box, but then you've got nobody in there. That's the problem, you know. Adama doesn't look like a strong one either, just going to go into an area where you're going to maybe feed off him for second phase ball. So everything is very deliberate, and on this pitch hasn't come off at all.
I think going to be hard for Celtic to pinpoint exactly where it's went wrong, because as Pat said there, it's not like you can say they had the ball in the box or they had the delivery. It's so far back the chain of going wrong that you can't pinpoint and say this is what's cost us the game today. They've just been so far off it. But Dundee United, to their credit, have been defended outstandingly, took their goals magnificently, and still on the front foot, putting that pressure on and causing real problems for Celtic, and capitalising the fact that Celtic knew, I think this is the disadvantage of playing last, knew that they had to win. And when that first goes in, you could see them, the shoulders drop, and when the second one goes in, you can see that, knowing that they've now got a chasm between them and Hearts, and Rangers are right back in it as well now.
Yeah, so. And they come back to this city after the international break to play Dundee at Dens, where they've also already lost this season. You could be talking pretty quickly, Pat, about Celtic being snuffed out of this title race.
Yeah, could happen very quickly. This isn't going to do them any favours anyway, that's for sure. But listen, the fans will demand that they keep going right till the end, and they will have a lot to say in this, where this championship goes yet.
Benjamin Arthur gets it back to Sinisalo. United fans loving this. Less than 2 minutes of the stoppages to play. Reaction to come. Highlights tonight in Sports Scene at 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. International break coming up. Scotland, Japan, Ivory Coast, Scotland coming up live across the BBC. Sapsford back to Sybil. He's gone for the spectacular, which he's capable of. 30 odd yards, drags it well wide with the left foot, and it stays United 2, Celtic 0. Here is Oxlade-Chamberlain to Arthur. Out to the right side, it's with Yang. Pokes it infield for Adamu, to Yang, to McCowan. In the centre circle, back the way and over the head of Scales. Many Celtic supporters have left Tannadice already. Another bad afternoon for them. A 12th game they've dropped points in the Premiership. They're proving so costly. As Pan Kamara finds Sapsford, Sybil at the byline, gets it across. He couldn't quite get his feet sorted as he clatters into the advertising, though Sapsford's retrieved it wide on that far side. Little back heel for Ferry. Can United finish with a flourish here? Ferry wins the throw-in off Arthur, about level with the Celtic 6-yard line. We're in the final minute of stoppage time as United look for a third goal here right at the end, and they're as well almost just sticking this in the box and trying to find it, because they need goals.
Yeah, and they're finishing off in style as well. Other teams happy to run into the corner and run the clock down, but United have moved from the left to the right, and they're still moving the ball about, but they seem now resigned to the fact that they can just keep it up here for the duration of the game.
And Sapsford chasing after it on the far side, no way through this time. Not a great touch by Yang. Ferry, now Fatah's on the turn, tries to poke it back to Kamara. Maida gets onto it, but we've played the 6 minutes. Nick Walsh will be sounding the full-time whistle right about now, and Celtic have lost ground. United with a huge victory, and a beautiful Sunday for them to keep their outside top 6 chances alive here, with back-to-back wins against Celtic at Tannadice, following up the 2-1 victory in December with a 2-0 here, and a decisive victory it was too. Second half goals from Will Ferry and Emmanuel Adjier have decided it. Celtic, it was a display of pure timidity from them. Difficult playing surface, yes, but United played it better. And it's a huge win for them, and a great reaction to the disappointment of dropping those 2 points in the derby across the road last week. But for Celtic, my goodness me, it is a 12th time they've shipped points in the Premiership this season, and they will return to the City of Discovery in a fortnight's time to take on Dundee at Dens, where they've also already lost this campaign. And quite quickly, their hopes of retaining their title could be obliterated. A 3-horse race could very quickly turn into a 2-horse race, because this has been a good weekend for Rangers, and in particular for Heart of Midlothian, who have increased their lead at the top from 2 to 3. It doesn't matter, they don't care who finishes second. They've gone a point further ahead when it comes to the title race than they started this weekend with, and they've got 7 games to go to win their first title since 1960 and deny Celtic and our Rangers the title for the first time since 1985. Celtic look a shadow of what they should be right now, and they're in big trouble. 5 adrift are the defending champions, because they've been well beaten today and for a second time at Tannadice Park this season. But it finished in the spring sunshine. Dundee United 2, Celtic 0.